Go there, dude. Dude, I've gotten laid a lot more since my divorce than you in your entire single life.
You are making out with Pam Anderson.
It wasn't like that.
And
dude, you were
like
in bed with your ex-girlfriend, and you couldn't bang her.
What was it like? What were you kissing her like your grandmother? What was it like?
It was like everyone was goofing around and everyone was kissing everyone, but it wasn't going. It wasn't going any further than that.
Wait a second.
It wasn't going any further than that.
Everyone was kissing everyone. Was Ralph kissing Pam?
Ralph was doing some stuff to Pam.
He didn't get to kiss her.
No, while I was kissing her, he was rubbing her legs.
Yeah, but she didn't ask for that.
It was way weird. I just had to get out of there. You were there that night.
Right.
You saw what was going on.
You could have done something.
I might have kissed Ralph that night.
It was nice.
She was there. She was ripe for the plucking.
Well, you know what? You want me to be honest?
What?
Yes.
I've had Tommy on this show, and you might think that
I break
shut up.
Men.
Stop. You liar. She was married to Tommy and confused.
Nobody's going for that.
She didn't want me. She didn't want me. Trust me, Robin, I know when a woman wants.
Don't make us list the codes you've already broken.
Howard, you know what it was?
What?
You know what it was? It was you had to get up the next day, didn't you, for work?
Yeah, I did.
And you
And it was
bailed.
late. I bailed.
Don't you skip work?
No.
You should skip
No,
work
it wasn't late.
Can I tell you
Wait a
something?
second.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it was.
We started the broadcast at noon.
No.
And you know what, too, Howard?
I'll tell you exactly what it
You know
was.
how you can tell she's into you, too? They're like, oh, we're all going to get, like, you were leaving. Then, like, oh,
She's not into me. I'll tell you why.
We're all going to go now. And then they left and went somewhere else. They were still looking to party, but when you left, they were like, oh.
You were the party. They only wanted
Now, let me tell you, I'll tell you the truth. Here's the truth, bottom line. Pam and I were hanging. And also her friend Natalie was there.
Yeah.
Natalie's fun, too.
Natalie was a lot of fun, too.
Oh, I could tell you stories.
Oh, wait a second. What did you do with Natalie? Anything?
I didn't do anything.
I definitely know he's not Natalie's type.
I'm not Natalie's type. She's into black guys.
She made it clear that Howard wasn't her type?
No, she's just, I know her type.
Oh, yeah.
It's big black guys. And believe me, I ain't Pam's type either. Because here's how I played it with Pam. We were screwing around, just kissing us, nothing heavy. And it was getting late for me. I had to go do the show. She wanted to go to another club or something like that. And I was like, I ain't going to another club. So I said to her, bottom line.
What?
Bottom line, she knew where to find me. She knows my number.
Oh, see, that ego,
Hold it a second. If she wanted it, she would have.
Engraved invitation.
Yep.
You got to pursue a girl like that a little bit.
Nah, I don't. Ralph, you know me. Do I pursue anyone?
No.
Right.
But for her, you got to pursue.
What? You don't want Pamela Anderson.
I ain't pursuing her.
Swallow your pride and go back
I am not going to pursue her.
He's going to wait till Pamela Anderson asks him.
That's right.
And you know when that's going to be.
That's it.
That girl doesn't do that.
She can do what she wants.
When she can't have guys asking her.
You know what the problem
I'm the man she can't have.
The problem is you say you don't pursue anyone, neither does she.
That's right.
Yes,
not yet, anyway.
So Kid Rock wins. What can I tell you?
He did the ask.
He's the better man.
Do you think he worked hard?
No, I think he asked. When she showed some interest.
No, I don't think he worked hard at all.
Either.
I met Pamela at Natby once, Howard. I swear I could have dated her.
Well, there you go.
Why didn't you?
Because I wimped out because I thought she was too big for me.
Hey, maybe I thought that too.
John and I, let me just say, John and I hung out with her one night for a couple of hours, and I didn't see any sparks of any kind.
No, I don't mean there. It was like.
You know what I'm saying?
Were you rubbing her leg, John?
No, but she stood there, and I said hello, and she said hello, and we were both in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
Oh, she wanted it.
Wait, if I
she was about to say,
you know what, dude?
She would have said yes.
Pam is a friendly girl, and that's where you can't get confused.
Yeah,
you can tell when a woman wants you, and you can tell when a woman's just being friendly.
Yeah, I heard she was into Beetlejuice, too. I heard she came on to Beetlejuice.
Yeah, right.
You know how I know she wasn't interested in John? We sat with her for 2 hours. And they were talking about their kids a lot. That's a way you know.
That's how you get in.
Hey, I should make I don't mean to interrupt the fun, but this is a breaking news story, a serious news story.
What?
A plane has crashed, into the World Trade Center.
You're kidding!
The World Trade Center is on fire, which is
what is going on?
Really? Let me look out my window.
It's the tallest.
Just heard you right there.
Was it like one of those private planes?
Thank God you're alive.
Dude!
You see it?
Dude, it's hot. Oh, my God. I got to go out on my roof. This is incredible.
see.
The whole thing is on fire.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, not a little fire.
No, it's huge.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
If a plane hits a building.
I gotta run.
How did it take so long to happen?
I'll call you back.
Right, I know. I'm always amazed.
Because, you know, a plane once crashed in the 40s. A plane crashed right into the Empire State Building, like right in.
Right.
What kind of plane?
What kind of plane? Was it a private... stupid plane?
I don't have any more details. I'm following this story.
I hope this wasn't one of those, like, terrorist kamikaze attacks.
You know what? He's preparing to
Let's get back to you and Pamela.
sit in on for Dan Rather. That's why he's being very serious.
Yes.
Taking over.
This is my audition. We go now to Sandra Rodriguez, who is on the site at the World Trade Center. Hello. Sandra? Hello, Howard. The fire is going very rapidly. Yeah, I'm going to be taking over Dan Rather when he retires. Hey, Howard. But it's a very serious story. I mean, I'm sure there's... but fortunately, it's early in the morning. Maybe not too many people are in the building.
Yeah, hope not.
You know what? That's a financial building. Those people get in really early. Yeah. I mean, they really do. It's like...
For the international market?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do they do there, though? I'm not sure if the plane is... Like, a portion of the plane isn't actually stuck into the building.
It looks like something's hanging out there.
You see on the left-hand side of your screen?
Yeah. I got you.
I don't know if you can see it.
Good Lord.
Oh, they just pulled back for you.
Yeah. See that? Is that a helicopter?
I think it's a helicopter that's hovering around to see what's going on.
No, I see what he's saying.
Right up there.
It's a piece of the plane hanging off the building. Oh, I don't know if that's smoke or a piece of the plane.
You can't really tell.
Dude, it's really smoking.
Yeah. Huge fire.
It's like Towering Inferno, because once it gets started, what happens?
Imagine being trapped in there.
They built it better than that hotel.
Well, how are they going to get... They're not going to get hoses up there. They're going to have to rely on the sprinkler system.
And all that?
Yeah, and you know how well they work in the city.
But, these stairwells are all...
You can't drag a hose up there? Wow.
Don't they have a ladder that goes that high?
I don't even know how you begin to fight that fire.
Sand.
What do you want to know about Pam?
Okay, so then you're...
So we were hanging out... We were at Scores.
You're kissing her. At that
it wasn't like a big make-out. It wasn't like that.
But she wasn't pushing you away either.
No, she was just being a little bit playful, but...
So did you feel her breasts?
What?
Did you feel her breasts? Be honest, come on. Did you feel...
You know, God's honest truth, I don't remember.
That's a yes.
I don't remember.
No, you would remember if you...
I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did.
Like, did you pull her butt close?
I felt her butt.
Oh. How then do you not close?
You were just inches away.
Closed.
You were inches away from the big Y.
Banged
what?
You
were inches away.
I did not.
You did it?
No, I didn't. I never banged Pam Anderson. Never.
Did you? Okay. Do I have to go through the whole list?
I swear on my kid's life.
Did you get hand relief from Pam Anderson?
Does he have his fingers crossed?
No, I told you what I did. I'm being honest. Pam, I think, would admit to this. I'm not telling anything out of school.
Was it clear who initiated the kissing?
Sorry?
Was it clear who initiated the kissing?
Like, did you initiate or did she?
She did.
How'd she kiss?
Oh, you idiot.
You weren't there. You don't even... Well, actually, you were there. You don't even know that.
You're such an idiot.
Why are you shaking your...
I've never called you an idiot. And believe me, there's some cause for it. You weren't there. I know how to assess a woman's situation. I was not there. I was far from there.
You had the winning lottery ticket. You threw it away.
I invited her back to my place. And she wanted to go to a club.
You didn't invite her back to your place.
I did. I was there.
You just said you told her where you would be.
I'm telling you, I said, hey, maybe we should all go somewhere. And when a girl could take that and say, okay, let's go. But she was like, nah, I want to stay with my friends.
She wanted a little foreplay.
No.
She wanted to go out to the club with you, drink a few
Whatever. I didn't have time to work it.
You didn't have time to work it that
I'm not going to sit. Want to know the truth? I wasn't going to sit there and work it all night. I wasn't going to put in the time.
How'd she kiss, by the way?
Oh. It was fine. It was a peck. It was nothing. No, it wasn't anything serious.
I take back my idiot.
Yeah, it's nothing. It was nothing serious. Believe me, if I saw the glimmer of hope, if I saw the second of any kind of opportunity, I would seize it. I never turned down that.
That sounds like a Ganji story, though, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not.
You know what a good litmus test is? When you kiss a girl, and if she touches you when you kiss her...
There was no touching. It was very playful.
She wasn't touching you?
But if she doesn't touch you, you get nothing. That's how it works.
I know the difference when someone...
Was she sitting on your lap?
No.
At this time?
No.
Where was she?
She couldn't sit on my lap. Natalie was on my lap. And she got a little jealous, that's all.
And so she leaned over and started kissing?
She gave me a kiss.
Howard.
It was not leaving a tongue. It was nothing.
Oh, dude.
Go ahead, Tom.
You got to watch your monitor. They're going to play back. There was just an explosion.
Let me see.
Oh, no.
This is. But what happened, Tom? What do you know?
I mean, all I know is that apparently a plane. I've heard Channel 2 describe it as It looked like someone was driving, a drunk driver driving a car, flew into the building.
Was it a terrorist attack?
Look at that.
Unbelievable.
It's a huge hole.
See what's going on at the World Trade Center. And about... There's
wow,
an
look at
that
that.
just happened 20 seconds.
It's even lower now, the explosion.
Looks like a movie.
It is. Yeah, it does. It looks like a movie special effect.
I'm telling you, it's Pam Anderson's jet.
Oh, stop.
Vinny, what are you talking about?
We're not trying to be making a...
This is not even a joke.
Wait, hold on. Is the other one catching fire now?
Gene Simmons is in
What was the Gene Simmons thing?
Gene Simmons blew up.
Wait a second. Let me see that again.
Pull that up again.
Is it in both buildings?
Does it look like, it looks like the other buildings are caught now.
Well, yeah, this is going to be massive. Yeah. Are there people in the building? There's got to be people in the building.
No, but I mean, I don't know who said it was Gary or John, but you're right. I mean, how does the fire department deal with this?
I don't know.
Well, they said emergency crews are rushing to the scene.
That's a hole like the Oklahoma City hole in a building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there it is. There it is.
That's a heart.
That's flames, man.
See,
that's
really the second building, so...
Oh, my God.
No.
No, because the one on the
second building's on fire.
That's right. The one on the right has a hole in it.
Has a hole in it. The other one's the one that
exploded. No, I think it was the
back. That's a reflection.
Of the first building.
That's a reflection.
At least I hope it was.
I do, too.
So wait, Pam Anderson.
Yeah. It was just a rumor. Somebody just called and said that on CNN. A second plane just crashed into one.
Stop it.
A second plane.
That's two different buildings.
They are two buildings, and that is lower.
So it's a terrorist attack, isn't it?
That's what they're saying.
It's got to be.
Somebody just called
oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
A second plane might have crashed, and a second building is on fire.
Why does everyone go to the World Trade Center?
What do they do there?
It's a big target.
Landmark in New York?
Well, it's the biggest landmark in New York, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Next to
it's the tallest.
Oh, my God.
And it's a place where people can be killed. Like, you can't take down the Statue of Liberty. Nobody's going to be killed there. Hey, maybe I should put the sound on.
Yeah. I mean, we got Channel 2.
Yeah, give me some sound.
What's all that
Hold
stuff?
on.
That's flying in the air. You see that?
Looks like papers or something.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of debris and stuff.
And this will be a good opportunity for me to act like Dan Rather.
Yes, you can practice.
Because I'm going to be
when they call.
Does this scare you?
Yes. Yes, it does scare me. We're totally too lax in this country. Trying to tell you. Tell me if you're ready.
Did you see that movie Swordfish, Howard?
Now at the scene, we should tell you that approximately 40,000 people work in the World Trade Centers between the two towers. Each building 110 stories tall. And joining us on the phone again is John McLennan. He works at 200.
I hope it's not Captain Jenks.
And has witnessed some of this unfold.
As have we, just before 9 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. Hello? Just before, John, you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Just before 9 o'clock this morning, an unbelievable event happened, catastrophic event. A plane crashed into the World Trade Center Tower number 1. Not more than 3 minutes ago, a second explosion happened at Tower number 2. We're being told that it could have been another plane, although what we saw was just an explosion. And again, Michael, you said 40,000 people work at World Trade Center. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're efforting. Reporters on the scene are trying to get down there. Marcella Palmer, namely, as many others that we have called in and heading down there. We're trying to get people who have been eyewitnesses to this to call us so that we can hear what they know and what they've seen. We're hearing that it could have been a Boeing 737 or an Airbus from one of our witnesses.
So it was two planes?
We're not still sure.
So you think it was two planes?
Exactly caused
They're not
that
sure.
explosion on the second World Trade Center tower.
They don't know.
But if it was one of those size planes, those are huge jets.
We have no confirmation on the injuries, as Lisa mentioned. We have no knowledge as to how many people involved. However, our producers are telling us now that we do have some videotape. Of the second plane, and you can see it there.
Where? I didn't see it. Oh, whoa.
This is crazy.
We're under attack.
Going into buildings.
From our vantage point, clearly difficult to tell.
We're under attack.
What type of plane that is, but it's a horrific scene.
That's
all right. We've just been told also, Michael, sorry, the New York Stock Exchange is being evacuated, as is, I'm sure, much of Wall Street, if not all of it, as much as possible. But the New York Stock Exchange has suspended trading for the moment.
It's war. Come on.
Everyone tries to get out.
It's
the Japanese area.
This is Pearl Harbor.
Right, we got to go bomb everything over there now.
We got to bomb the hell out of them. You know who it is. I can't say, but I know who it is.
That's crazy.
This is more upsetting than me not getting Pam Anderson. What is that, Tom?
There it is. There it is. Yep, I see it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Going into
what are you saying, Tom?
I've never seen anything like. Obviously,
me neither.
Nobody's ever seen anything like that.
Oh my God.
So that's a suicide mission.
Yeah, suicide mission.
They're doing it over here now.
We can't put words in the FAA's mouth or any flight.
I know who's doing it.
Tower information.
There's no way a 737 would do that.
And on what seemingly is a relatively clear New York day, 2 plane impacts. One you just witnessed there, saw on tape.
It's a suicide mission. Yeah. We're at war.
Look at that.
But who are we at war with?
9, the second one.
Is this our Chopper 2 picture?
Not long after 9. Yeah, this is, I believe, a picture from Chopper 2. Jim Smith, are you up there?
Yes, we are, Michael and Lisa. We have been forced to stay about 5 miles away from the World Trade Center. A flight restriction has been put in place, but right now we are looking at live pictures. The tower on the left, that is tower number 1. And we can tell you that we can still see the flames and smoke coming out of that, as well as the tower to the right. That is tower number 2. You can see the damage to that about the middle of the building. Just incredible what we are witnessing here from about 5 miles away from the World Trade Center.
Jim, I don't know if you were able to see the videotape that we showed moments ago, and if you have any information at all as to what type of plane and what carrier may be involved.
Well, we did not have that as of yet, Michael. Unfortunately, we were unable to see.
The attacks occurred 18 minutes apart.
Baker is right now talking with air traffic control. We're trying to determine what exactly happened here, what type of plane, to be exact, was involved here, as well as the carrier involved.
We're showing people again that videotape that was shot just moments ago of that second plane making impact into the second of the trade centers. Again, both 110 stories tall, 40,000 people working between the...
Dominic is on the phone. He seems to want to say something. Yes, Dominic. Oh, he's gone. What is it, Joey Boots?
Howard, hey, I'm down on West 4th Street. We heard the first explosion. We went outside. We're watching the smoke come out. There's a hole in the side of the building. All of a sudden, maybe, 10 minutes later, there was another plane flying around, and that disappeared into the building also, and you had like a third explosion after that.
How big did that plane look?
The second plane was a decent-sized plane. It looked like it would hold maybe 50, 60 people.
Really?
Yeah, let me tell you something. Like, we're looking on TV, and the World Trade Center is so big that it looks like a tiny plane.
From here. You couldn't even believe the sight. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before. We heard the first explosion. It rocked my friend's apartment, and he lives... West 4th Street, and that's downtown, and we could see the Twin Towers right from here. There's smoke filling out of the side of the building. There's a hole in the side. Then we saw the other plane flying around after we were out there watching it for a few minutes, and that plane disappeared into the building, and it blew up.
They're flying right into the building.
This is them towelhead bastards.
Well, we don't know who it is.
We don't know yet, but I got a feeling.
It could be...
you can't say that, but I can say that. It's about time we take these towelhead bastards and throw them out of the damn country.
Well, don't overreact
We're too
yet.
nice to people,
Let's find out who it is. We're going to find out. Once I find out...
Then we'll get crazy.
No, I got a lot of friends that work in that building. I'm sitting here watching it burning right now.
I know, Joey.
The attack happened, and I just
know people down there?
Now.
You do? I do, too.
My father used to work in that building.
Who does?
My father used to work in that building.
Yeah, I know, we know tons of people down there.
Mr. X used to work in that building.
Yeah, I know that.
My wife used to work in that building.
Let's go to Mike, who works in the building next door. Joey Boots, stay on the line. Yeah, Mike.
Hi. Howard, how you doing?
Yeah.
It's crazy over here. It's like chaos. It's like the Armageddon.
Of course.
The first plane we didn't see. But
you ought to get out of your building, dude.
All we saw was fire. Then the second time, we actually saw the plane circle around and then smash into the building.
Plane.
We're under attack.
Could you see
there are people flying planes into New York City and crashing into buildings.
It's chaos. There's people all over the place.
What did you saw the plane?
I saw the second plane.
What did it look like? Did it look like a commercial plane?
No, it looked like maybe one of those Airbus type things, like an MD-80.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Howard, anybody else that's out there listening now that's working at New York City landmarks, take my word, be on the lookout right now, because these guys, they like to do these in multiple numbers.
There could be more coming in.
That other bombing, they're going to bomb a whole bunch of sites. Make sure everybody takes watch. And
Where's the Air Force?
Howard.
The Air Force is stunned. What?
On a more serious note, you're a big pussy. You didn't touch Pamela Anderson?
No, we're back on that. Dude, I'm telling you.
We can talk about that anytime.
Yeah, you can be back on me tomorrow. I'm in the middle of organizing a military action. Thank you.
Like, how do you combat this, though?
You know how. Reagan stopped them.
No, but I'm saying you go in there and you teach them a lesson.
We know where these people are.
Yeah.
We know exactly where they are. We need to send some cruise missiles over there right now and just start bombing the hell out of them.
Today.
We're always worried about the innocent civilians who live around.
You know what? Innocent civilians, so what? They shouldn't be living by these guys. supporting them, all that crap, okay?
How about this? We won't do anything.
What about
we won't do anything. You wait and see.
Trust me, he will.
GW, you better get on the stick.
GW, you listen to this right now. You better bomb the hell out of those towel heads.
Howard, what was the end result of, after the whole World Trade Center bombing and all the trials and everything else, how many guys...
Nothing happened.
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Oh, no, that's not true.
Well, some guys went to jail. Yeah. Big deal.
Like 4 guys.
Where's this
Obi? Do some strategic
where's Obi Bin Laden or whatever his name is?
We never declared war on.
Hey, Howard. They tried to get Bin Laden in 3 different places. Remember that?
Oh, come on. We can't get Bin Laden, then there's something wrong in this world.
Hey, Howard, I just talked to a guy. He just went by with a fire scanner. So there's multiple casualties.
Of course.
It's 9 o'clock. Everybody's at work at 9 o'clock. They timed it just perfectly. The opening of the stock market, everybody going to work.
How do they get a plane? I don't know.
2 planes.
How fast it's spreading, Aaron?
2? Oh, the whole building's going up.
Those buildings are just going to be, they're like matchboxes now.
Yeah, but everybody
let me go back to the news report for a second. Let's hear what's on the news.
That was planned by a terrorist group, or it can be just that the air traffic control system completely crashed. This is going to take a lot of investigating.
The air traffic control system.
Like a crazy air traffic control.
They're not allowed.
Hold it. Visually, no, it's a clear day in New York. There's no way 2 planes crash into the World Trade Center.
They're a legitimate news organization. They're not allowed to say what we're thinking, which is obvious.
Evaluate some of the injuries. They will.
I see that second plane flying around there. It disappeared, and then there was an explosion.
You know what? Today is primary day.
I mean, it's pretty sensible to me what happened.
Medical service ambulances are also on alert. Remember, when there was the prior crash, there were 1,000 injuries.
I can't believe I'm seeing this either.
Today is primary day, Howard, and it also means that we're losing our mayor, Giuliani, and I really think he should declare something and just stay in office.
He should declare a state of emergency. And
we can't afford to change.
Dude, you see all the stuff falling? Now debris falling to the street below.
Yeah, anyone in that area ought to get the hell. You guys, are you really
Those
Joey?
Could come down.
No, that's far enough.
He's far enough away.
You're far away?
No, I'm down on West 4th Street. I'm fine. But I'm hearing on the radio they're talking about the plane is inside the building. There's multiple casualties. Howard, these towel heads, I'm telling you, we let them come to this country. They're here illegally, a lot of them. We don't even kick them out.
Well, we're letting everybody in here illegally.
Could the plane have been, loaded with explosives or something,
Sure.
I mean, come on. What would you do if you wanted to bomb something? You'd lead it with
just sticking a plane,
explosives?
Just flying a plane into there would blow up the whole thing.
I don't know how true it is, but I think while we were on vacation, I read in one of the newspapers that they are actually, honoring the families of these suicide mission guys they have over in...
PLO does that after they blow up an Israeli,
the
town.
family gets compensated.
Yeah, the family is treated like heroes.
Is it Hamas or Hezbollah?
Hamas.
Joey, thanks.
All right, Howard.
Bye-bye.
See, now, shouldn't there be, planes now flying over, dropping water and stuff? Isn't that the only way they're going to, put it out?
Maybe that's how they put out forest fires. Maybe that's how they do it. I don't know anything about it.
It's inside the building, though,
At that point, that's like jet
Right.
fuel,
I mean,
electrical.
Yeah. Hey, wasn't that building taller than, what is that building there? The big building.
Empire State.
Oh, my God.
Wasn't it taller than it was before? Look how much it's disintegrated.
Oh, you're a nutcase.
You know what? You got to go talk to horses in the winter circle.
Oh, my God.
You are such a nutcase.
No, I'm serious. You didn't see that?
Howard, how could you live in New York and go, what building is the Empire State Building?
You see that building over there? What is that?
That's the Empire State Building, Casey.
Casey's going to be like, as long as they don't hit the girl holding the torch.
Right, the girl holding the torch.
Hey, Howard, why's my hand bigger than the World Trade Center?
Yeah, because
they don't look so big.
Because it's on TV, dude. Nick, you're on the air.
Really why?
Yeah, I just called to tell you that the other guy who called and said it was the towelheads may be wrong. The State Department yesterday issued a terrorist watch for all Americans in Peru due to the extradition of the drug lord Daniel Ochoa to America.
Wow. Well, let's bomb them, too.
Let's bomb everyone.
But that's not a bad idea. Either that or it was Jackie the Joke Man.
Let's drop A-bombs. Oh.
But you see how it's spreading the building to the right, Howard? It's already going down the middle of it.
Well, don't forget. This thing's going to burn. You can't stop that kind of burning. It's going to burn the whole building down.
I mean, it looks like it's the one is 2/3 of the way up, the other's about halfway up.
Yeah.
God knows what it looks like inside. I mean,
110 stories.
Can you imagine being above or above that?
Oh God,
that's a nightmare.
Oh God,
you know what it's all. You know what happens? The worst thing that happens in these fires,
the heat.
It's the smoke inhalation.
Yeah,
it's the smoke inhalation. That's how you just choke to death, which is horrible.
How freaky will that be? That probably won't be part of the skyline of Manhattan anymore.
Oh, stop it!
What do you mean?
We must have that.
Well, you're not going to have it. It's gone.
But how freaky?
What's that stuff that's coming out of it?
Smoke.
Black smoke.
Not smoke.
It's called smoke.
The white thing coming all the way down. Is that like a ladder?
More smoke.
Oh, you are so crazy.
It's smoke.
It's a fire. Look at that flying shark,
Casey.
No,
that's fire.
No, the thing that just came out. Do you see what I'm talking about?
No.
That's fire.
No, the white thing that just... Look, see, it's coming down right now.
In between the two buildings?
Yeah. What a journalist.
There is something... I can't see. My eyes are so bad.
I think it's smoke from the back of the building.
No, it's white smoke.
It's Spider-Man.
White smoke.
It looks like somebody's moving.
It does. It might be some
what is that?
That's bigger than a person. Side of the building.
Yeah, I think
it's like somebody climbing down.
Hanging bed sheets, man. I'd do anything to get out of there.
Yeah, what is that?
There's something going on there.
Okay, you need about 2,000 bed sheets.
So let me put the sound up. Maybe we'll figure it out.
Radar from Boston to see if there are any unusual flight plans or any unusual planes that show up on the radar screen, and they can trace it back. They can do that pretty quickly, but again, the FBI, possibly even the Secret Service, would be called in on this to try to find out what's going on. Remember, it's a manpower issue. You need to get as many people as possible.
Yeah, it's black smoke.
Smoke from the back of the
billowing.
He's supposed to speak very shortly. He's going to be...
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
I'm watching the Fox Network here, and I just saw a thing on a thing that said that FBI is almost verified that there has been a hijacking early this morning before the crash.
Really?
Oh, so they hijacked the plane.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. There was actually 2 planes.
Yeah, right. 2 planes.
And it's actually ridiculous. Watch it on a film. Watch it on TV now. It's just...
Oh, this is so aggravating.
I don't understand how all of a sudden one day it's beautiful, next minute, no, everything's just ruined. What's that? Oh, here comes the plane right now.
Oh, God.
Second.
Wait, showing it again?
Yeah, I am speechless.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say?
What do you say about this?
Can't say anything.
I just feel like nothing will be done. It's just
no. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I think there will be such an outcry that something has to be done.
They've attacked the United States. It's war. It's war.
We don't stand for this.
Wasn't there an attack when they on the World Trade Center? On the World Trade Center. Why did we never go to war over that?
We didn't have to go to war.
Because this is a plane?
They had all those guys lived in Libya at the time, didn't they, Tom?
Yeah, I think so.
And didn't we bomb them? We didn't even declare war. Remember, we had the whole thing about France not letting us fly over their airspace. Yeah. We went anyway, and we bombed them.
Yeah, not enough.
And then what happened?
And then they did
stopped.
This for a while. They've been doing all kinds of stuff. And the Israeli intelligence...
Is you let them build up again.
Israel would take care of the problem for us, but we're now all of a sudden we're worried about how the PLO feels. I mean, let's get real.
I thought that was stupid in the first place.
Let's just get real.
Wow, that's a good size jet to hit the second time.
Israelis could kill everyone over there. They got the manpower, they got the bomb, they got everything.
Loosen the reins.
Yeah, let them do their thing. Let them do it.
Didn't George W.'s father have the chance to go all the way when we went to war? To just go right in and...
The Bushes don't have the chutzpah. They don't have the balls.
Notice they didn't do this when Reagan was...
No. You need a guy who didn't grow up rich.
A guy who can
bomb. A guy like me who will bomb things because he's angry. I love to bomb.
I mean, part of that was, you got to remember, the UN and the whatever the writs of war that they had said it was to get Iraq out of Kuwait, and that was it.
Yeah. Bush pulled the plug. He had one more day, and he could have finished the whole job.
Oh, no question.
His calculation was that he'd rather...
The worldwide sentiment would be against us, blah, blah, blah.
And also, he'd rather keep that guy in office than have some other guy take over.
Yeah, because the guys behind him supposedly are worse.
Yeah, Dominic, go ahead.
This is no different than Pearl Harbor.
Absolutely.
That's right.
There'll definitely be a war, but you're looking at the wrong country. This comes out of Palestine.
Of course.
Not out of Iraq.
Oh, I don't know. We don't know anything, so.
No, we didn't say anything about Iraq.
But do you see the way that plane goes into the building?
Yes, those guys are happy to die for their Allah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
those are some crazy people.
Encourage it. Your parents encourage
Well, that's what I say. How do you negotiate with people like that? You can't.
No, it's really, and also the whole argument about whether Israel should be there or not is ridiculous.
And
they're there.
Drag Jesse Jackson back here and pummel him for even talking with that Yasser Arafat.
Now, do you think the plane was full of people?
I'm hoping.
No, I don't think so.
Well, they said if it was a hijack plane, possibly
right.
What do they care who else is on the plane?
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Casey, that's the Empire State Building.
Hey, thanks, pal. I got that.
Why does it look taller? But those buildings haven't sunk, Casey.
And Casey, the reason the Empire State Building looks bigger, you're looking at a flat screen and it's closer to you.
No, the Empire State Building's on like 34th Street.
Right.
So this is all the way down there.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why I asked what the building was, because, you know, how would you see it in the same picture?
Oh,
my God.
How they say things come in threes.
What?
Things come in threes.
Yeah, this is Hank dying.
Hank and this.
Spike.
Hank, Aaliyah, and this.
Hank, Spike, Aaliyah, and this. It's 4. This is pretty awful.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it.
This is the most catastrophic thing.
Does anyone else kind of feel
Since
like...
Pearl Harbor.
Do you feel inside like almost scared?
Yes.
Almost.
Sad.
I am.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for whoever's in that freaking building. If anyone's on, stuck on top, forget it.
That's the weirdest thing about working in the city is that New York is always we're always a target.
I know.
Giuliani said that he's made this city terror-free. Less deaths than ever before in any administration.
Well, he has. From each other.
You're not going to blame him for this.
What does Giuliani get to do with this?
What are you talking about, Dominic?
Well, but the point is that really you have no control over any of this.
This can happen anywhere.
You would have to treat everything like the World Trade Center and the Statue of Liberty like a military base. You'd have to put planes around it.
Already.
But now let me ask you something. Now the World Trade Center has a sprinkler system, right? So that it's not going to be able to.
Well, that ain't going to do anything.
Well, that's for regular fires, not an explosion.
This is an airplane driving right into the building.
You know how much fuel is on a plane?
Exactly.
They have loaded
with jet fuel.
So there's nothing that can be done then.
No. Listen, when they build it, they don't plan on planes driving into it. No.
Well,
they don't.
If this was a movie, would you believe it?
No. I mean, it would be great special effect.
Dude, see, I thought this was going to happen on Y2K. That's why I stayed home. And you should have seen when the fireworks came out. I was having like...
You know what? This is our worst nightmare. You knew this was going to happen one day. And it's happened.
Well, it's because we never settle anything.
You know what?
Right.
I got to tell you.
And we don't face the fact that and I'm not saying it's the Arabs who did this. I don't know yet, but I'm guessing. The Arab world has to be taught a lesson. That we are the boss, and you are going to be our dogs, and you have got to be spanked.
Will you do me a favor, please?
Yeah.
Will you not be the leader of these thoughts right now?
Yeah, it's true. And I'm not being the leader of the thoughts. I'm saying I don't know who did it yet. It could have even been one of our own people.
Could have been the Peru guy like that.
No, it could have even been
like the Oklahoma.
Yeah, it could have been like one of our own people. It could have been one of our own people. But you want to know something?
It doesn't. It sure doesn't look
I don't want
like
you to
it.
be
It doesn't feel like.
One thing seems like
it doesn't feel like it is right.
One thing seems like an isolated incident. Two things seems like a well-planned.
Oh, clearly.
And
people over there aren't thinking rationally.
But it was a
They never have.
They never have.
And to sit down and try to talk to them is crazy.
Mostly the Arab countries,
as crazy as they are.
The oil-rich Arab companies don't take in the Palestinians. They don't want them. And, if this is a case of that, it's time to end the misery for the world.
See, I don't think the airport's checking off anyway. I mean, you can
if somebody hijacks a plane and drives it, how are you going to prevent that?
To your face, you do what they say.
No, I'm saying, how do they get a gun onto the plane?
Plastic guns?
Mm-hmm. Oh, they got a billion ways.
Nah, they probably got this plane. They could go to a private airport and get a plane. I don't think this is a commercial airplane.
Well, it depends on what size it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't it strike
you guys? The second one was a big plane.
It's odd that there are no choppers circling yet.
I don't think they're letting anybody into the airspace.
They got to make sure, of what's going on.
Was you chopper up there?
The Channel 2 chopper guy said this. It's a
there's an embargo.
Right.
Down there in the financial district.
It's down.
Closed.
It hasn't opened yet. It's closed, but futures 150 points down already.
Of course.
Hold on. Let's hear this report.
Everything will go over
by Chopper 2. The first impact in Tower 1 happening just before 9 o'clock this morning. The second impact that we had shown you videotape of not too long
live
ago.
On our cameras here.
And we were able to provide that image for you. The second impact, though, happening about 18 minutes after the first impact. And here's another look at it on tape. Hard from our angle to tell what type of plane or to really discern anything from that other than the obvious. So we're continuing to contact the FAA as well as the Port Authority, all airline carriers. We've heard reports that the FBI now investigating possibilities, we want to emphasize, of a possible hijacking and
or suicide mission, that's also a possibility that we're being told is being looked into.
All reports from the Associated Press as well. We understand that George Bush, the president, who was in Florida speaking to children as
on vacation
a moment ago, when he was notified of what had happened, is scheduled to speak sometime soon. As
he's on the phone to his dad.
He was out speaking to children, which is where
the Associated Press only reporting that the FBI investigating as is their job, any possible evidence of foul play.
Okay. Of course, it's difficult to find out information because the Port Authority is based at the World Trade Center, and Marcia Kramer's been trying to get in touch with them.
The authority has closed all their bridges and tunnels coming in and out of the city.
Wow.
What that means is the George Washington Bridge is closed, the Lincoln Tunnel is closed, the Holland Tunnel is closed, and all airports are now closed.
Wow.
That's regarded as a security measure. Remember, when you take a look at the possibility of terrorist attack, our bridges and our airports and our tunnels are regarded as prime targets. So to make sure that there isn't any other further disaster, they are closing all the bridges and tunnels into New York City.
No.
So to repeat, the George Washington Bridge, the Lincoln and Holland tunnels are closed. All 3 area airports, Newark, LaGuardia, and Kennedy airports are closed. Now, in Washington, the FBI was said to investigating reports around 9 o'clock, just before the first crash, of a plane hijacking. That's something that they're going to have to be looking into to see if the plane that crashed into the first World Trade Center building, Tower 1, was in fact
We got to be at war, right?
We're waiting for our president to speak.
Pretty close.
Yep.
Yeah, how are they going to figure out who's responsible for this?
Yeah, first, you can't declare war until you know who did
it.
Yeah.
I can think of some people to declare war on, though.
Right, yeah, I mean...
In general.
We can all come up with a list of candidates.
Yeah, we can use this as an excuse.
Exactly. It's not something to do lightly, though.
Coordinated this had to be.
I know. So coordinated. This is, you know...
This is not the
This is what we've all known is going to happen.
We're all saying we've been lucky this hasn't happened before.
It was either going to be the Midtown Tunnel or one of these big targets, and someone was going to blow it up, and now they've done it.
You know, a lot of TV channels are out.
The towers are up on the World
Is that right?
Trade Center.
Yes, and there's radio stations up there as well.
The footage of that plane flying into it was pure Jerry Bruckheimer. I mean, it looks like it was straight up.
Yeah, it's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
There's Bush.
You know what's weird?
Let's see what Bush is saying.
I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks.
Hunt those folks
who committed this act.
The country.
Terrorism against our nation will not stand.
No, it seems to be.
And now, if you join me in a moment of silence.
Oh, with the prayer. Moment of silence.
You know what I want to hear, Howard?
Yeah.
I want to hear him say, we will find these people. I want him to be angry.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to find these people, and...
You know what I wanted to say? Planes are on the way.
President Bush, who was down in Florida for what was...
Yeah, but you know, you got to remember who his dad was. His dad was the head of the CIA. His dad is a strong, powerful man. His father's going to make sure that things are done.
He didn't do it himself.
Well,
Why didn't he do anything?
Because they were afraid if they gave it to Saddam, who'd come next.
Was that the same CIA that could never get Castro?
You guys can't forget, they bombed 3 different places. They tried to get bin Laden. In fact, we had rockets that hit the Chinese embassy. In
so why'd we give up?
We got in a lot of trouble for that.
Trouble. Who cares anymore? Let's go.
Can you imagine that we can't find bin Laden? Can you imagine that? Come on.
And you know what? It isn't even bin Laden. It's the whole friggin' country.
He could be behind it.
Well, see, that's the problem.
Yeah, right.
Why
Dominic,
is it safe to be there?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if this could... I mean,
forget bin Laden.
He's got money.
Time to just literally say we were just attacked.
What country, though? See,
you know who it is.
No,
I'll tell you the countries right off the bat.
We don't. The CIA should.
I'm saying that you listen.
But it's terrorists within those countries, and it's the countries that house the terrorists. Absolutely.
Yeah, but the government is hiding behind those terrorists,
and I'm sure they'll take credit for it anyway.
Yeah. Everyone's going to take credit for it.
Bush needed to make
it. The government of those countries hide behind those terrorists.
You know what? We got to wait and see what the deal is.
You can't rush to judgment.
Yeah.
Well, we could.
It's not like Pearl Harbor. We knew who the Japanese were.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they at least announced. We did it.
But Bush could have generalized. He could have made a speech along the lines of that Reagan one from 15 years ago. He said they count on America.
No one's been able to write him a new speech.
I agree with that.
He's afraid to. But Bush is the kind of politician. He's afraid to say something spontaneously. Yeah. He just said, "I'm going to say a prayer."
He doesn't have any spontaneity.
He's got to wait for Cheney to tell him what to say, and he's going to get. I guarantee. I bet $10 million right now. He's on the phone to his dad asking him what to do.
Well, you know what? The first thing he said was, "I call the vice president."
Yeah. Because the vice president's in charge. Dick Cheney's running the country. Anybody who doesn't know that is crazy.
And the whole world should have a minute of silence in the middle of this.
Cheney? Does he have a military background, Cheney?
Cheney?
Yeah, he was defense secretary.
Cheney.
No, but originally...
What kind of accent do you have? Cheney.
Cheney. He's talking about his own chin.
The buildings are now buckling, they're saying. That literally...
Of course. I mean, the infrastructure's got to be...
A Boeing 767 from Boston, according to our information partner, CNN. We're not sure which plane that was, if it was the first airplane or the second. Again, looking into the possibility of a hijacking, a possible suicide mission, the FBI on high alert. All bridges, tunnels leading into New York City have been closed. All three airports have been closed, all under the command of the Port Authority, which ironically is based at the World Trade Center. Also, the Emergency Command Center that's supposed to be bomb-proof and earthquake-proof is at 7 World Trade Center across there. President Bush, as you see on the bottom of your screen, is calling the crashes terrorist attacks, and he is pledging to a full-scale investigation to hunt down and find the people responsible for it. Marcia Kramer, you're in the newsroom. What can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you now that New York City is going on high alert. It's going into what you would call its terrorist alert. They've established a no-fly zone over all of Manhattan. The Lincoln Holland tunnels have been closed.
How do you enforce a no-fly zone?
You get any plane that comes into the area will be shot down by the Air Force.
So you know the planes are up now. Our planes are all up. Our war planes. They're on full alert.
But see, that's what I was trying to say before, Howard. You'd have to have a military base next to the World Trade Center, everything.
You can't. The only way you protect against terrorism is to be a very strong parent. We're the leaders in the world. We have all the technology to spank these douchebags and fix them for once.
We've been lenient parents.
We're too liberal.
We're trying to let everybody solve their own problems.
When parents are too liberal, the kids get spoiled and they act out.
Just buy the World Trade Center? Seriously.
I don't know who did.
They just confirmed at least one casualty.
Believe me, there'll be a lot more than that. The only saving grace might be that people weren't in the building because it was 9 o'clock, but like as we said, people get into work pretty early around here.
9 o'clock is late for the financial community to get to work. It really is.
Right.
Developed after the bombing of the World Trade Center.
And I disagree with Tom. After the bombing of the World Trade Center, nobody was hunted down.
There was nobody to hunt down.
Well, there was. They
put people on trial.
These aren't These aren't individuals. That's what I'm saying. People.
It's got to be countries. Yeah. Countries have to be held responsible. Let me see. Mayor's emergency bunker located at the World Trade Center.
Every emergency thing is located there.
Its bridges and tunnels. The UN, the United Nations, has been evacuated. The stock exchange has been evacuated. These are two of the landmarks in New York City that police and FBI officials have regarded as potential targets of terrorist attack. Again, we have also learned that FBI offices all across the country have been put on high alert for the possibility that there could be terrorist attacks other places in the country. Again, President Bush said that he called it an apparent terrorist attack, but it will take some time for the FBI...
Listen, we let all of these terrorists live in this country. We do.
Did you see that the subways are shut down? It just said,
I'm telling you, you won't be able to get home.
This is crazy.
All right, we got to take a break.
Right here.
We're going to take a break, and I think we should just come back. We'll wrap it up. I don't know.
I don't know how to wrap it up.
I'll wrap it up. You don't have to wrap it up.
It's just there's no wrap.
I'll find a way to wrap.
I'm going to call my kids. Goodbye.
Whoa. What do you mean you're calling your kids? How dare you?
Kids. Who's more important than us?
You're going to call your kids?
I want to make sure they're all right.
Wait. Whoa. Your kids are your kids something to do with the World Trade Center?
No, but just at a moment like this, you want to just worry about it. I feel really bad about it, like all of you.
I think the terrorists are going to avoid Garden City, Dominic.
Yeah, I think imagine they're going after Dominic's law offices.
I just have to tell you, I do eat more in moments of fear.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're going to balloon up.
Yeah, I think he's really going to get something to eat.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you have to go eat. Go ahead.
Right, so there was one Danish left.
All right, I have to take a break, and when we come back, I guess we'll close up the show.
Yeah.
Okay, right after these words.
Howard Stern Show. We'll have more of the Howard Stern Show in a moment on WBCN.
Because of what's going on now in our country, that we're just going to come back and be with you. The Pentagon has just been attacked.
Hit by a plane.
Hit by a plane. The World Trade Center has been hit by 2 planes. This is what we know so far. And I got to tell you...
They evacuated the White House.
Let me put on the sound.
side of the screen, you can see the World Trade Center, which was hit by two planes. The first plane that hit the World Trade Center was a plane that was hijacked from Boston. As a result of that, we can also tell you that Logan Airport in Boston has also been closed.
Wow.
New York City airports are closed. Bridges and tunnels coming into Manhattan.
What's going to be next?
All been closed.
Anything could
that
happen
be a further terrorist target is now being closed down as New York City and apparently the capital go into
the Pentagon. How do they get a plane through to the Pentagon? That's what I want to know. Isn't that what?
On the Washington Mall. So there's now two.
How is the Pentagon?
It's 48 minutes since the first attack on the World Trade Center.
And they got
through.
And they got a plane through.
Question now whether this is terrorism?
Well, we know it's terrorism, and I'm telling you, a country has to be... You know, this reminds me of Japan attacked us in World War II, Pearl Harbor. They were the only country ever to attack the United States like this. And we took an A-bomb, and we blew the daylights out of them. Harry Truman knew. They were still screwing around at the end of the war.
It was 4 years later.
4 years later, they dropped an atomic bomb on their ass. And we got to drop atomic bombs.
There's got to be a war.
That's all there is but a devastating war where people die.
No stopping this.
Burn their eyes out with atomic bombs.
I don't want to hear about casual
and about civilians.
Casualties.
We
got civilian casualties.
People work in the trade.
If this guy Bush doesn't go to war right now, I'm telling you that
you got to know where to go.
We know where to go.
Well, you know what?
Don't you know?
If they didn't do it, they better surrender right away.
Yeah, they should all surrender right now.
I'd rather Martin Sheen stepped up than Bush right now.
Vinny, be quiet.
Vinny, where did you come from?
Right?
That's Vinny Penn. Vinny Penn is still trying to be funny. He's like, hey, this was my day to be funny. This is my shot.
I got lots of in all fairness, he hasn't been here in 3 months, and he may not be back for another 3. He's going to make the most of it.
All right, Vinny, you make all the jokes you want. We understand. Wait.
As you look live at New York City's
Pentagon
Center buildings on fire from
the Pentagon is on fire.
That's brazen. I mean, to attack the Pentagon, it's brazen. It's like we don't care.
That is the seat of our military.
Yeah. Had been hijacked. The second airplane we're trying to get
scoffing at us as a superpower.
Are we done? I mean, do you think there's something else coming?
Yes.
Absolutely. Look, who knew that this was going to happen?
The Pentagon. How are they getting all these planes?
That's why they're evacuating the White House. This is serious. Very serious.
Black smoke.
Our president can't go home tonight.
Aircraft was hit just a few moments ago, 9:40 this morning.
Should point out
he doesn't want to go home. He wants to be on that ranch anyway.
Washington Mall. No confirmation as to the cause of that. And the west wing of the White House and the Capitol buildings have been evacuated.
All these countries are jealous of us, our way of life.
They want us to be miserable like they are.
Right. And we are now miserable. And now is the time to not even ask questions.
Nope.
Just to be pissed off and drop a few atom bombs, do a couple of chemical warfare hits, let their people burn and suffer until they understand.
Empty our stores of everything, because we haven't been bothering anybody.
Right.
They started screaming about colonialism, we stopped.
It's John Slider, I'm sorry.
You're right. Dominic, what is it? I don't know why I'm going to you, but...
California. Why?
Yeah.
Something in the Midwest.
Or something in the West,
Chicago.
something in L.A.,
West.
Chicago.
I mean, there's obvious targets, but I mean, Chicago, L.A.
Chicago or something in...
Boy, they're going to the Pentagon.
They're doing it. They've shut down Wall Street.
Can you imagine they bombed, they actually crashed into the
Pentagon?
How do you get to do that? I thought that's like that airspace is completely protected. And how are they not on alert?
Well, everybody's on alert now.
I mean, it's 48 minutes later. I mean,
so what? I mean, that's certainly enough time.
I'm saying that.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
You know, this is a huge country to try to protect, though.
I know. But the Pentagon is a target that is considered a highly desirable target.
But you know what? They probably are sitting there going, nobody would ever do this, just like they did during World War II.
After the White House, what's the next biggest target? It's got to be the Pentagon, right?
Yeah.
What's bigger than that?
Pentagon is bigger than the White House. It's where we have our nuclear capability.
Now, where does all the cabinet and the president go when you evacuate them? Where do they go?
They have bunkers.
If
they have to.
They have bunkers. What do you have, Baba Booey?
Yeah, well, we have the top. We can go to your apartment. We get a better view when the plane comes.
Yeah.
Hey, can you imagine if there was something in those planes that crashed? You know
there was something in there.
No, I'm saying
people.
Like a chemical or something like that.
They don't need more than the fuel.
That's right. That's all they need.
No, he's got a point. What if there's some killer gas in there, some chemical? That's a good point.
I think everybody we'd already be dead.
There's no air in this building. Not to make a joke.
We're the only ones left.
I swear to you, I'm getting queasy.
There's every reason to be.
I'm having trouble breathing.
There's every reason to be.
Who do I sue?
We are under attack like never before.
Howard will be the only casualty.
No, I'm telling you, I'm starting to get agitated.
Well, don't have a heart attack before you find out what's going to happen.
I'm very angry.
I know.
You need to do a paper bag.
I'm very angry. I feel that people need to suffer now.
Scary.
We have to protect our way of life.
That's exactly true, Howard. You'll get no argument there.
Well, you'll see. They'll do nothing.
No.
I think you're wrong.
Here at Bellevue Hospital, they're expecting...
Listen up.
So far, 2 have arrived here. It seemed that the injuries were minor.
I feel like I'm watching a movie, that this can't be real.
Time ago, and alarms were going off. Right now, they're on external disaster, a very high alert at this hospital. Everybody gearing up for this disaster. And here on the FDR, continuously, there are sirens just whizzing by, police cars, fire...
Can I say something? I'm trying to think, who is it that could talk to us right now to try to calm us down? The only person I can think of is on the phone. Cabby. Crazy Cabby. Yes, Cabby.
He can make sense of all this?
Yes. Cabby.
Howard,
yeah.
I live in Brooklyn, and I'm standing on the roof of my building, and it's disgustingly sick what is going on. Who did this, first of all? And second of all, it's time to stop toying and letting these people come into our country and blow things up and do it all over the world. You know, we keep guys like Osama bin Laden around because we need enemies. We need a reason to build bombs. And I swear to God, if this isn't a reason to wipe out every freaking terrorist on the planet Earth, today we have the technology. We know where they are.
We can do it.
It's just do it.
We're afraid of the world reaction. Now, don't be afraid.
Screw them. That's what I say. Screw the rest of the world.
I mean, you talk about attacking us at our heart. We're on the building with binoculars, and somebody said they think they saw somebody jump out of the building because the building's on fire.
Oh, my God. This is just
I can't, I'm in shock.
I'm in shock, too, and I'll tell you one thing. I'm getting increasingly woozy from this.
And they're closing down all of Manhattan. We will not be let off this island.
Look at it. Look at that thing.
Look at the burning Pentagon. The Pentagon you can't even see.
Right, it's engulfed.
They hit the Pentagon, too?
Oh, yeah.
You better go back inside.
They just blew up the Pentagon.
Oh, my God.
A plane hit the Pentagon.
Pentagon has been hit by an airplane 48 minutes after the World Trade Center was hit by 2 planes.
They are evacuating the West Wing of the White House.
It's time to stop screwing around with these people, and I'm talking all the way down to Saddam
they're begging for it.
Yeah. Countries like Yemen and the United Arab Emirates who house these people and let these people do this.
All of them. Blow them all to sky high.
They are begging us for
major
attention.
Atom bombs.
Nuclear strikes all over the world.
Nuclear war. Just do it so that they're flattened out and it turns into a paved road. And we'll take the oil for ourselves.
Parks over there.
And we'll take the oil for ourselves, by the way. This is a good excuse.
How could a plane hit the Pentagon?
Well, that's a wonderful question, Dominic.
How could a plane hit a Pentagon 48 minutes after the World Trade Center's been attacked?
No, because it's probably a commercial airline that was hijacked. Think of all the people on these planes.
They just said a plane was hijacked from Boston, one of these planes.
767 is, I called my wife, and she said the report she heard was that it was a 767 out of Boston, and that is probably
the first one.
I think that's the second one.
Oh, really?
Cabby, thanks for the call.
Howard, this is
I know.
I don't even travesties to ever hit the world.
It is it's certainly the biggest travesty in our lifetime.
I cannot believe it. I'm disgusted by humans, and we better take care of business, or we're all lost.
Yeah, our way of life will be destroyed. Absolutely. We have to sit in fear.
Exactly.
Now it's time to get busy.
Country on the planet,
if we sit in fear, we deserve to have our lives destroyed.
Right. Don't sit and listen to these other countries like France. You fakes.
Wait and see.
Yeah, how many times have we bailed their ass out, and they house terrorists, too?
Oh, absolutely.
Get rid of them, too.
Well, you know what? Just blow them all up.
There's debris falling onto the street from the World Trade Center, flames and smoke from both towers.
I can see it from I'm standing on the roof of my building.
All right.
It makes me cry. It's sad.
All right. Thanks, Gabby.
An evacuation has been ordered at the United Nations. Now they're getting everybody out of every tall building.
Right.
Hey, Howard, CNN just also reported that they closed every airport in the country.
Good.
Absolutely.
Let's get busy.
No time to be flying around. See anything up there, shoot it down.
Yeah, Dominic.
What's next?
Right. What's next?
What is next?
I never thought the Pentagon.
See, You can't get... There's no getting off Manhattan now. Everything's closed.
If they plan 3, they can do 5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They could be all day long with this.
This could be going on every day now unless we act swiftly. And no investigation. You know what countries hate us.
You see what I say? See, I'm always, considered an extremist. But I say you declare war on everybody, and then whoever surrenders doesn't get killed.
Right.
But how do you kill every son and child?
I would.
I would.
They grow up to be terrorists.
You know which countries have to be flattened out.
They're in collusion. If Bin Laden is behind this, boy, did he show us something.
They raised them to be terrorists.
It's not only Bin Laden. It's all those guys over there. They're wise asses.
There's somebody listening to him. He doesn't do this on his own.
Yeah.
He doesn't go out and bomb anything.
Right, he's alive. He's got people killing himself.
Exactly.
Do you realize how many TV stations are actually knocked out?
No, I don't.
How many?
4, 5, 7.
Oh, they're knocked out?
Out.
Channel 7's not on the air?
Out.
Oh, my God.
No. What's on the air? 2?
How is CBS on?
Channel 2's the only one on.
2, and I believe...
They're on the Empire State Building.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
9 is out.
Look at that.
11 is out.
That is amazing.
Wow. Channel 2 is the only one broadcasting here in New York.
5 is out. 4 is out.
Hold on. Let me bring up some sound. What is it?
Hey, really important. Robin's driver is leaving, and he doesn't care how she gets home.
Is that true?
Yeah, he's going
Well, why don't you go?
Oh, that's
Robin,
hysterical.
He's leaving right now.
I'll be fine.
But, Robin, you can't get home.
I know. Everything's closed.
Robin, you can stay at my apartment.
No, that's all right.
You hear such conflicting stuff, Howard. Scott said that he heard somewhere, that Scott the engineer, that everything's open going outbound, that they want everyone out of the city. But
well, I just saw that they closed the battery tunnel.
That can't be true.
If anybody needs to leave, go ahead. I'll,
where can we go?
I'll hold down the fort.
I went upstairs and told everybody that as well, and it's everybody saying, where am I going to go?
Yeah.
That could create pandemonium if everyone started trying to get out.
Right, it'll be like a Sylvester Stallone movie in the tunnels.
I mean, I'm trapped here with Tom?
See ya!
Now we better go to war.
Let's have lunch.
Right.
I know a really nice, quiet place for lunch.
Yeah, I bet prices are cheap today.
Here is that they were both suicide flights going in, and as I said before, there's unconfirmed word that even a third plane was on its way here. The disposition of that, we don't know.
Wow.
The studio, I can't hear you right now, but let me go back to you.
A third plane was on its way.
Maybe, and maybe they stopped it.
Lower Manhattan.
Giving us our first account of things from ground level. Let's go back to the newsroom now. Marcia,
we're sitting ducks.
Following the developments
from
that vantage point. Marcia?
Well, we're now getting some picture of the breadth of this national catastrophe.
Oh.
First of all, the White House was evacuated, the entire White House, after the Secret Service received a credible threat, I repeat, a credible threat of a terrorist act against the presidential mansion and residence. But that's not the only building that's been evacuated. We now can report that the State Department, the Capitol, and the Treasury buildings are also being evacuated, and believe it or not, in Los Angeles they are on a tactical alert, and they are starting to evacuate key buildings
everywhere.
All bridges and tunnels closed.
We're sitting ducks.
No. It says into. It says
into Manhattan.
Yeah, into.
It's out too. Why would
it's gonna.
How are you gonna get out?
Yeah, Eric, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard, Dominic is wrong. Channel 7 is on the air. Channel 9 is off the air. Channel 9, we'll see what happens.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Zolar, you're on the air.
Oh, thank God you took my call, Howard. Now I'm looking at 7, I'm looking at 5, I'm looking at 2, I'm looking at 4. Let me tell you something, Howard. One word on the news about...
Oh, no.
Wait a second. What happened? Tom, what happened?
Oh, my God.
What just happened?
Oh, my God.
What just happened? Look at that.
Oh, the whole World Trade Center just collapsed.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on Channel 7.
Oh, my God. The whole thing just completely dropped.
It actually collapsed.
That's it.
Oh, my God.
Anybody who had a chance of getting out of there.
It collapsed.
Doesn't have a chance now.
Are you watching the footage?
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrific.
The whole thing just collapsed.
Everything around there's in danger.
Let me put up the sound for a second so we can hear what's going on.
On microphone from Chopper 2 as he takes these pictures. Jim?
Yes, I am here, Michael.
Jim, tell us what's happening out there.
Oh, my
We just witnessed some kind of secondary follow-up explosion on the World Trade Center #2, the one
secondary
on the south that is difficult to make out through the debris and smoke, but it does appear that the top portion of the building has collapsed down to the streets below.
Oh, my gosh.
Unbelievable what we have seen here. The debris and smoke just covering the entire portion of lower Manhattan.
Oh, my gosh.
Jim, we know this is terribly difficult for everybody. We're asking that you please stay with us. Hold your shot. Stay with us on audio. We should tell people our crews have been running from that scene, as have everybody, and the entire area has been under an evacuation for some time. And just moments ago, you saw it here live from Chopper 2, a horrific scene as one of the towers there appears to have collapsed. From what had happened earlier, a quick chronology as you continue to look live. Just before 9 o'clock this morning, word of a plane crash into Tower 1 that had been confirmed, a 757 hijacked out of Boston was the first impact. 18 minutes later, a second plane impacted Tower 2. Not long after that.
Videotape of that second crash.
Not long after this second impact that you will see here on tape, happening 18 minutes after the first impact,
and then
was the fire at the Pentagon.
Right, about 9:30 this morning.
Also confirmed, at least from the Associated Press. This is the collapse,
ladies and gentlemen, on videotape.
The whole middle of the building came out.
Unbelievable.
It's like an implosion, right?
Let's go to Marcia Kramer now in the newsroom as she watches what you're seeing at home right now. Marcia?
Well, the real concern right now for New York City emergency rescue squads is to get people on the ground away from that scene as soon as possible. If you live in the area, if you live in Battery Park City or any of the other housing developments in that area, you should leave the area. You should evacuate the area and get away from the scene. Right now, police have to determine...
Oh, my God. The whole World Trade Center just imploded and went down. The whole building's gone.
It's just gone.
It's gone, and people are in there.
Oh, yeah.
Not anymore.
Hopefully they were out.
Nah, no way. No way they got out.
That entire building with fire going on.
No way.
They had an hour.
No way. I'm sorry, what is it, Dominic?
Look at that picture on 2. Did you ever think you'd see that in the life?
No. It's really war.
It's like a nuclear bomb hit the city.
Yeah, it really is.
It's so beyond Pearl Harbor. It's just so beyond.
It is beyond Pearl Harbor.
The entire city is covered with smoke.
At least Pearl Harbor was...
And the Pentagon's on fire.
Installation.
What went on at the Pentagon? The plane crashed into the Pentagon?
Yes.
Oh.
And now they're saying there's one other plane on the radio they think is still up there.
Oh,
I don't
no.
think it's down yet. There must have been a third target in New York.
Zolar, go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah, oh my God,
There's
I'm
no thought.
devastated, Howard, and I'll tell you what, first second I hear on the news that it has anything to do with a towel head or a dot head bastard, I'm going to go out there and start going to those Arab stores and I'm going to start kicking.
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Don't say that, Zolar.
So, hey, I implore all Americans to get your arms together, baby. Get out there on the streets and go to your local freaking delis with them.
All right, I got him. He's just upset.
I understand, but he's an idiot.
No.
It's like we keep looking at this and we think to ourselves, how much worse can it get? And every 10 minutes it gets worse.
It's getting bad.
Yeah.
Cabby.
Howard, we were standing here and we were just discussing the things that were going on, and the second building just crumbled right in front of us.
It did. I know.
And how many people on the ground or other buildings were affected by that?
Yeah, the whole area.
It's a 110-story building.
There's another plane behind it. I don't know if you just saw it in the air.
Yeah, what is that?
I just saw a plane fly by.
That's got to be one of our planes, right?
Well, it's a no-fly zone.
That was chopper. I noticed that about 10 or 15
No,
minutes
not
ago.
a chopper.
There was a chopper originally, and then they cleared the whole area. The World Trade Center is not standing.
Downtown is completely covered by a cloud of smoke.
Here's Ed Moyer.
He's coming to get home.
This is our world. That siren is our world.
This is a disgusting display that is humanity right here.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to say here? There's nothing to be said. I don't know what we're good do. What good it is to have us on the air right now. I don't know.
They're not letting anybody into the city, are they?
No. Tom, I don't think it does any good to have us on the air now, does it?
The only thing I'd say about having you on the air, it's some place for people to come.
Right.
Especially people in other cities.
It becomes a big encounter session. If you want to continue that.
All right, I'll stay on the air for a while. I don't know. I'm sure everyone's...
If you want, as long as they're not going to be...
Abandon us for a news station?
Did you see that picture, Howard?
That footage.
Cabby.
I can't even believe this.
Cabby, where are you right now?
I live in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, right next to the Williamsburg Bridge. So my view of downtown, I have a complete view of everything that's going on right now. I'm on my roof. And all the traffic has been obviously stopped going into the city, and everybody seems to be making a quick exodus out of the city. And right now, you can't even see downtown. It's completely covered with smoke from the collapse of one of the greatest buildings ever built because of the ignorance of humanity.
If any of my staff has to leave, because they're still letting people out of the city, you should go.
Well, I already lost my driver.
Boy.
He always says, Robin, I'll take a bullet for you. See ya.
Yeah. Bye.
Not a bomb.
I mean, do you think
I'm scared to get on the subway.
See ya, Robin.
Do you think it's worth making an attempt to go home?
Yeah, you should go do it.
Go
you
do
got
it.
a
I would say
family
go be
to
with your
go to,
family,
yeah.
absolutely.
I would go do it and...
Subways are closed.
The subways
Where's Casey
are closed.
going? He has no family to go
Casey, you have no family. Get over here.
Back here, you.
He runs out with Gary.
And Howard, obviously, if you want to go, we'll fill.
I got nowhere to go.
Casey's going to OTB. What about guys in a situation like me?
The horses aren't running.
Cab it out and take a train and...
Well, good luck.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I don't think Vinny, I think you're here for
We better
good.
get a hotel room together.
That means I can do the show again tomorrow, Howard.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
He's available.
I don't even know what'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, really.
I mean,
it may
seriously.
not be it tomorrow with this going on.
We might have a state of martial law by tomorrow.
That's right.
And we probably should.
You know, I want to hear from our president again.
Yeah.
Yeah, where is it? Oh, never mind. I won't call him names.
We know where he is. Yeah, you got to get behind the president now. Doug, what's your story?
Oh my God, dude! I just can't even talk. I was just on my roof of my building, and we actually saw the building buckle a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we came down, and we went on, the freaking building collapsed. But I mean, just think of all the countless amount of people on the ground within 25 blocks, and all the emergency workers, the police, the firemen, they're probably gone.
Overwhelmed at this point.
They're gone.
Said
and you know what pisses me off the most is our freaking president. What the heck?
Not now.
What a softie.
Oh,
well, let's not even get to that yet.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does.
I guarantee you.
Let me just say,
it's our president.
There was word. This is completely unconfirmed, but Governor Pataki has an office in
the World Trade Center.
The World Trade Center. It's not known. I don't know.
No, the president said he had talked to the governor of New York.
Okay.
Yeah, they spoke.
And it is the most eerie thing. You look up on my rooftop, which overlooks the whole city, and I mean the streets are just empty. It's just a parade of
the devastation
and police cars and fire trucks. It's
the building collapsing.
It's hard to even speak.
Hit other buildings in the area.
I'm having difficulty having anything to say.
The countless amount of people in that zone where the building collapsed, they're all deprived of air. There's no air going in there.
Right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Howard?
Yeah.
I hear they closed all bridges and tunnels either way.
Oh, they did?
You're not going to be able to get
Tell
in.
Gary to abandon that.
I just pulled them back from coming. If anyone needs somewhere to come, they can come up to my building if they get stuck.
Well, yeah.
And
I'll have everyone but Benji.
And I suggest people
really sad. I just feel like crying, Howard. I mean,
of course you do. This is unreal.
Sad. I mean,
of course you feel like crying. This is absurd.
This is our country.
You knew this was coming.
What did we do that was so wrong?
We were
did
having
nothing.
a good time.
We did nothing wrong.
And you know when they did it, Howard?
These are people who live in countries where they're enslaved.
They're going to say that we've participated in terrorist acts as
cares?
well.
You know what? Now's the time to stop their rhetoric.
That's their religion. This is our religion.
Now you got, for the first time, you got the excuse to really wipe out these animals. Animal countries. Don't target Osama bin Laden.
Look for people.
Howard, do you realize how many people are probably, dead or injured from
thousands.
this?
Oh, thousands. You know what?
Look at the collapse of this.
The thing you ought to think about is the people who are cheering that this happened
all around the world.
Anybody who's cheering.
And they should be gotten right now.
Howard, it's at the point now where
F-16 flying overhead now.
Hold it a second.
Military jets in the air.
There are military jets in the air?
Military jets in the air. Let me see. I'm sorry. It's an F-15, which is an interceptor jet, which is meant to take out other aircraft.
Right.
I'm telling you, there's still one plane somewhere.
Yeah, they said that there was a third plane
that they thought was headed
here. Well, they're obviously flying, and they're going to take it down.
Yeah, well, they got to, and how are they going to take it down? They're going to have to take it out down over Manhattan.
Which means there's probably people on the plane.
That's the problem.
They will take out those people on the plane. And
at this point, you have to.
Yeah, you have to. It's called collateral damage, and they're going to have to do it.
This is devastating. If there is a third plane still in the air, it's probably a hijacked plane with people on it. The military's going to have to shoot it down.
They won't even get close to Manhattan now because there's Air Force up in the air.
Right. Yeah, but what
you
is
know what? That's what they intended to do. They intended to take probably people with planes with people on them as
insurance
to keep themselves from being shot down before they
so they could hit a target.
And you know what? So if they get over the tip of Manhattan somewhere else and we have to shoot them down and a bunch of people die there, they've still done their job.
Let me recap. Planes have crashed into the World Trade Center. 2 of them. One at 9 o'clock, roughly a little before 9 o'clock. Then a second plane went into the building.
About 18 minutes later.
48 minutes later, the Pentagon was attacked.
And one of the World Trade Centers now is non-existent.
It's collapsed. Yeah.
And the other one is basically gone.
Doesn't have a chance.
They say even a third plane could be up in the air. All airports have been closed. Everything in and out of Manhattan is closed down. We're here in Manhattan broadcasting, obviously.
They say 3 planes, but 3 planes already crashed, already. I think maybe that's the only 3.
Would you ever predict the Pentagon?
Never.
No, I mean,
they
who knows?
thought there was a third one here.
What's that noise?
That's one of the military jets that's circling over the tip of Manhattan and the tip of Brooklyn.
Howard, this
visibility's got to be shot.
This has become one of those movies. I mean, the planes are flying over our homes.
Yeah.
That is a warplane.
It's a warplane.
We're at war. We just don't know with who.
You know what's terrifying is that it's just a matter of seconds. We're watching the the other tower burn. It's coming down within minutes. You know that.
There's going to be another collapse. I hope to hell people are just getting out of that area.
Howard, now there's debris all over the ground, and other buildings in that area are affected.
It's complete devastation.
They must be trying to find that other plane if they're circling like that.
How many people do you think were in that World Trade Center at the time of this attack?
The 2 World Trade Centers together got to be over 75 or 100,000 people. I mean, it's a lot of people.
They said 50,000 people work in the 2 buildings.
Between 50 and 70,000 work in the 2 World Trades.
Right. And the only thing we can hope is that well, wait a second. There's another report coming in. Let me see.
Speculation obviously going on. It has the markings of a Middle East act of terrorism.
Why do you say that?
Well, often in the Middle East, when there's a bombing, a suicide bombing or a car bombing, you'll find a second bomb going off when the emergency response crews respond to cause maximum
which just happened.
They're so sweet, those people.
This is our worst-case scenario. This is something...
A 4th plane has just crashed into...
In the security industry,
I'm not sure where.
This is something
the 4th plane is...
and someone's on... Let me see. Someone's on the phone saying that... Palestine and that Ben Osama bin Laden guy is claiming responsibility, whatever his name is.
Oh, the second plane was from Jersey, Howard.
Both from an investigative
Hold on, I'll get to that guy.
From a response standpoint, is going to
another explosion hits lower Manhattan. Oh, my God.
Impossible.
Clearly, you can only do so much.
Hold on, let me see what this guy's saying. Yeah, Bob. Bob, you there? Bob? Okay, hold it a second. Wait. Bob?
Hello?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah, Howard, I'm here.
All right, what's this 4th plane?
Well, it's just being broadcast now, Howard, that a 4th plane, the 2 that hit the World Trade Center, then there was 1 at the Pentagon, and now a 4th plane has crashed into the South Tower and actually made the tower fall.
Is that right?
Oh, that was a...
And they're also saying that the Palestinians and Osama bin Laden are claiming responsibility for this. They've come out and said that they are the ones doing this.
Well,
They're not done yet.
Then let Israel loose. They're not done yet. Let Israel loose.
Let Israel loose. We have to do this.
Israel. Let the U.S. loose.
Let me tell you something.
We have to go to war
it can be taken care of in an hour. We could wipe them off the face of the earth.
You don't want governments who would allow this to happen again to stand.
An hour's too long, Howard. In an hour from now, they could have 6 more planes crash into the city.
Where is the 4th plane hit, Howard?
The 4th plane crashed where?
Into the World Trade Center.
Tower.
Into the South Tower.
The one that collapsed.
The one that just collapsed. The reason for that devastating collapse was not an implosion. He's saying it was a 4th plane.
That's what's on the news.
How could a 4th plane possibly get through?
I'll tell you how, because they have hostages on there. Whatever the confusion is in this moment, we are not prepared for this kind of devastating attack. Because the Air Force was not in place.
I have questions, though. Why are these huge planes flying out of airports, hijacked, and nobody knows anything?
FBI knew about one of them.
No, but there's control towers that these planes are leaving their flight
Wait, here it is.
3rd blast brought down tower.
3rd blast. Maybe not from a plane.
Because the building could have blown up just because of the fire alone.
Well, they could have had a bomb on the...
Yeah, because that looked like a bomb.
I think what you're hearing in our background is Cabby is out in Brooklyn, and you can hear the military planes going over. You can hear emergency crews.
Howard, I just have a quick question. Do you think that these pilots, I mean, do you think the pilots might have been, killed and taken? I don't see any,
an American would not fly into a building.
Probably killed the pilot and just steered it.
I would not see any pilot actually saying, okay, I'd rather, crash the building, crash into a building than just die.
Yeah, how do you hijack planes that quickly?
I got to tell you, a lot of pilots aren't American.
Well, that's true. Well, Gary, you're absolutely right.
We got guys living in this country who are terrorists, and we let them in every day, and it's just...
New York City's filled with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, remember that Egyptian air crash where the guy, the co-pilot, took over?
Yeah, but you'd think...
You know what?
I mean? You wouldn't think that... You think that they know these people. The CIA knows how many times someone takes a dump.
All right.
You don't know if a guy is
But it's odd that planes can leave their flight path, take off unauthorized, or do any of the stuff they'd need to do, and nobody knew.
Let me get organized here for a second. Let me get organized for a second. Bob, I'm going to say goodbye to you, okay?
Got it, Howard.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Doug.
Yeah.
I'm saying goodbye to you.
Okay.
All right.
Howard, don't you think that...
Gabby, stay on.
I know that it's bedlam. I know that it's going crazy, but don't you think, as busy as he is, the president needs to be telling us something? Don't you think we need to see him to know? I mean,
I
don't think the president needs to be out right now.
Yeah, I think
the president needs to be in a war room planning his attack.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
We don't need to know.
Yeah,
I feel like
I'm assuming he's not on his ranch right now.
I feel like I need to hear from somebody from the government that tells me they have some clue what's going on.
There's no clue. Who knows?
Well, you don't want to telegraph either.
That's right. You can't get on and announce what you're going to do.
You know what you don't realize, Howard?
We're aware of what's going on. We don't think there's any more planes. I mean, I don't know. This building can blow up in a second.
That building went down, and now picture all the fires that are now surrounded the Twin Towers. All those other buildings are probably...
Let me go back to CBS News and see what we can learn.
Believe it or not, reporting an explosion on Capitol Hill. Fortunately, the explosion happened after Capitol Police had started to evacuate the Capitol. We don't know if any of the senators or representatives were...
Is this a new explosion?
An explosion on Capitol Hill.
There is another explosion. That makes 2 explosions and a fire in Washington. An explosion at the Pentagon that we've confirmed was caused by a plane. An explosion at the Capitol, we don't know what caused it. And a fire on the Washington Mall, we don't know what caused that. But the fact that there have been so many attacks would seem to indicate that there are people on the ground as well as in the air that are helping to set off and to participate.
This is an organized...
Somebody is at war with us.
This is an organized effort.
If you could you please reiterate the information you had regarding
all right, listen again.
Schools in the lower Manhattan area?
Well, what we're told is that there are 3 schools in the lower Manhattan area. There is Stuyvesant High School, which is a high school for gifted students, and there are 2 elementary schools that are also in that area. They're in the Batteries Park City complex. What we're told right now is that the kids are safe. The kids are in the classrooms, but parents who want to go and take their kids home are going to be permitted to do so.
Damn right.
As of right now, I don't know what they're going to find when they get to the city.
In Washington?
What? Yeah, one more. The Capitol. Capitol's been bombed.
You also said Washington Mall is on fire. Now,
Wipe them all out,
from?
man.
What?
Wipe them out.
Right.
Every one of them. Tactical nukes.
Thanks, Cabby.
Howard?
Yeah.
This is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I want to hurt somebody right now.
All right. Well, listen, we're all feeling the same way. Let's see what happens.
You know, when I hear my dad...
Cabby, call me back if anything else. All the phone lines are almost all down.
Don't forget to listen to Kane's show for free.
Wait a second, Cabby. You might as well stay on because I'm learning now that all the phone lines are almost all down.
Yeah, they are. Well, I couldn't get through on my cell phone at all. Nobody up here has any phone.
Right.
I'm on mine. And
you and Dominic, I see... Let me see if there's anybody else able to even get through.
Look at that picture there. The face.
Give me a second here.
Completely changed.
Yeah, let me see what's going on here. Hi. Who's this?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
What's going on?
What's going on? You guys keeping in touch with the news?
Yeah, we're in touch.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. I don't know what this guy's trying to say.
He sounds like
Hi.
He's underground.
Hello?
Hello, can I talk to Cabby?
Yeah. Go ahead, he's on.
Yeah, what's up?
Cabby, what does Brooklyn look like? My girlfriend's someplace in there. Is that okay out there?
Yeah, Brooklyn's fine. It's they're not. It appears they're not letting anybody into the city. All the bridges out are filled with cars. People are trying to walk across the. There's a walkway going into the city. It looks like they're being turned back. until they cannot go into the city.
Cabby, are people just like out on the street?
Yeah, there's people everywhere. I mean, I'll walk over to the edge of the building here. There's cars stopped, and there's people standing on the street. People are talking and looking up. I mean, that's all you can do right now is look up at the devastation that has been caused.
By the way, on my TV set now, I'm still watching the World Trade Center burn. It's basically gone. It's completely eliminated.
The South Tower is completely gone from the skyline. There is nothing there.
And there's about, I'd say, a third of
the whole top of the building.
The whole top of the building's on fire on the other one.
Yeah, I'd say there's a third of it left.
It started sort of in the middle of the building. Now the top of it is completely in flames.
Right.
Now, did you get the report that somebody said the last plane crashed at the base of the building?
There was a third plane that actually set off that second explosion that caused what we thought was an implosion at first.
It was another plane hit the building and it collapsed.
Yeah, hold on. Who just left? I think I lost somebody. Hold on.
I think it's because that first plane hit the center of
It's okay, I got you.
All right. Yeah, it's. I mean, I come up here every night and I look at these at the skyline of Manhattan because it's so beautiful. And to see this morning, I mean, I woke up and I'm.
Cabby.
I can't even believe it. I mean,
I'm going to.
What the hell is wrong with people?
I know. I'm going back to the feed.
Second crash, 18 minutes later, what we have heard from the Associated Press was a plane out of Newark. Then a third crash at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and a fire at the Washington Mall, and now a fifth word that there was an explosion at Capitol Hill, which had since been evacuated, and now the sixth incident right now. The State Department apparently had been evacuated as all this was going on, only to find out that there's been a possible explosion there as well.
And, Michael, I've been told by our guest here, Michael Hirschman, who's the president of an international security and counterterrorism firm, that there's an unidentified aircraft approaching an airport in Northern Virginia, possibly Dulles or Washington National Airport. Authorities there are scrambling to find out about that aircraft. An unidentified aircraft circling, approaching an airport in Northern Virginia. We're not sure which airport that is. You have Dulles there, you have Reagan International, and George, actually those are the two airports there, scrambling to find out the nature of that aircraft. Can you tell us any more, Mr. Hirschman?
Only that's an unidentified.
Well, they taught us a good lesson. I hope. I hope we've learned something. That's Cabby's feed right now you're listening to. You can hear the emergency vehicles going off. It's complete bedlam.
They're trying to get closer, I believe, by going to the Brooklyn and the Manhattan bridges to get closer into downtown, because I'm sure the devastation from the collapse of the building has wiped out. It had to wipe out 20 square blocks around there.
Tom, what are you hearing out there?
My question was the first building, the one that's still up, the second one was where the big plane went into the
That's right.
collapse, right?
Yep. And they're saying a possible third plane.
Is that?
I don't think so. No, that wasn't a third plane.
It looked like the World Trade Center was almost tipping at one point.
It did.
I think the World Trade Center just doesn't exist anymore.
No, I think the one that's still up looks like it's almost buckling.
I think that's the one that got hit originally.
The U.S. State Department has been evacuated. The Pentagon has been hit by a plane. Let me see.
Doctors, nurses, and that they are getting people from everywhere into that hospital. It's now called the NYU.
That's the bottom line. We don't even know how many people have been killed.
That's all we have here.
Tens of thousands.
Yep.
Those lines, Cindy, every firefighter is...
White House, Capitol, Treasury has been evacuated. FBI security has been tightened across the country. They don't know where the next attack will come from, or if there will be one.
All the airports are closed in the entire country.
Yep.
You realize that this building collapsing, it probably collapsed right in on the financial district, which is the financial hub of the world, Wall Street.
Well, that's what they were doing. First, they knocked out the financial district, and then they went after the government.
They were in the middle of actually evacuating the financial district, and I don't even know how many people got out of there before that building collapsed.
I mean, you're talking a 110-story building falling in on itself.
Yep. It was huge.
It's children, if you're able to get there. Obviously, the area is still very dangerous, so we caution you against taking...
And just put up a graphic. Crashes...
These people wanted to throw us into chaos.
Yeah, they have. Crashes occurred 18 minutes apart. What?
This is not tape at all. This is the only remaining World Trade Center tower. The other collapsing not too long ago. Both victims of plane crashes. The second, the tower rather, that has collapsed, though we are told, collapsed because of a third.
This is chaos.
The source of that, though,
and
at this point, we don't know.
Shouldn't be put as a crash anymore. It was an attack.
Right.
Yeah. Buildings were attacked.
War.
We
had to declare war. Somebody
the Pentagon,
is at war
a fire
with
at
us.
the Washington Mall, and an explosion at Capitol Hill, as well as one at the State Department. And we just received late word of a suspicious plane.
Exactly. A suspicious plane approaching an airport in Northern Virginia, trying to determine whether that's Dulles or Reagan-Washington Airport.
Yeah, why can't you get in touch
Authorities,
with this
of course,
plane?
are scrambling to
What do you think's going on? You think there are more attacks coming?
Sure.
Sure, why not wipe out an airport while you're at it?
You look live at Chopper 2. You talked about the issue of going down and trying to get...
How many people are involved in this? How'd they keep it quiet?
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how you... They say now that they got word that there was going to be an attack at the White House. They didn't alert anybody else?
But they probably figured the White House they can take care of.
Is anybody out there screening my phones? I do see some people are able to get through, not many. Yeah. Let's see if someone can stay on that.
You know, Howard, they got into all the places that are supposed to be the highest level of security. They got into the Capitol.
Yeah, this is no amateur hour.
I don't know the Capitol's confirmed.
Capitol was bombed. Explosion. Yeah, it's been confirmed. It wasn't a crash. It was an explosion. They have people.
There's probably on the ground people as well as in the air people.
A car bomb at the State Department. How do you know?
Possible car bomb at the State Department.
I mean, they
now
went
being reported.
Our highest levels of security. They got into all of them.
That's the thing about terrorism.
But wait a second. How did the hell they keep this quiet?
Right. There's a lot of
many people involved.
There's going to be hundreds of people involved in this.
And this has to be people who were here for some time.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you don't just hijack an airplane. It's not the easiest thing to do.
I mean, and to do it simultaneously?
Right. 3 or 4 airplanes, and you're not...
Look at how long Japan planned to do Pearl Harbor. They did as much. They did as much work as that.
Well, this is a huge undertaking. This is a war.
The problem is we've been talking about Osama bin Laden planning some new major attack on the United States for about a year.
And we've been waiting for this.
You know, we'll never know till this whole thing is over, but for all we know, their plans failed miserably, and this is a third of what they were planning.
Yeah,
good point.
The world thought they were going to do on New Year's Eve in 1999.
Right, yep.
And they were smart, and they waited.
They waited till a random day in the middle of the week in the middle of September.
By the way, well, let's see. There's not many calls coming through because a lot of phone lines are dead, but Barry's on the phone. He's a paramedic on the way to the World Trade Center. Barry, what do you know?
I don't know too much. I know what you know. I watched the collapse on TV. I'm a paramedic in New Jersey, but we're going, soon we're going over there.
How are you going to get in?
I don't know. I guess we're going to use the tunnels. I'm on my way to where we get our units in Jersey.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. John wants to say something.
I think they just bombed the building in Jersey. That's what I just heard from,
Let me go back to the feed and see what's going on.
Explosion on Capitol Hill. You know, this is so preliminary. We get so much information that it's going to change throughout the day. And at this point, they're saying no explosion on Capitol Hill.
No explosion.
Also, as you mentioned, the international flights are now being diverted to Canada, and air traffic is being stopped everywhere else. That's really all we have right now from the newsroom. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Cindy. We'll check.
What did you hear about Jersey?
A friend of mine just called and said they just bombed the building in Jersey.
I'm not hearing that here. Wait.
Subways have been closed. We're trying to get an update, especially going into Lower Manhattan. Those have been closed, obviously.
The hell is...
You know how our intern who was answering the phones got so freaked out, she had to leave the phones. She was flipping out about all this.
Oh, can someone who's not flipping out?
Yeah, I'm going to go back. I just want to tell you about Jersey.
The bombings and the...
Second plane was from Newark.
That was the second plane that hit the World Trade
Center.
Was open, going out, trying to get everybody to go out. One of the concerns, of course, was that the Emergency Command Center was at 7 World Trade Center, which is across the street from Tower 1 and what was Tower 2, unfortunately, and that the Port Authority was based at the World Trade Center.
Tower 2.
President Bush did comment earlier. He called it an apparent terrorist attack, but then updated that to call it...
seemingly at this point quite certain. He pledges the government's full support, as would be obvious, for the victims and their families, as well as full-scale investigation to hunt down those responsible. Let's go back to Cindy Hsu in the newsroom.
Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
That's the other tower is gone.
Hold it a second. Let's hear this.
World Trade Tower Center
no more buildings
have collapsed.
If Jim Smith is with us still in Chopper 2, Jimmy, you there?
What?
Michael, we just saw that as well. The second tower, the only one that was standing, tower number 1, we saw some kind of explosion, a lot of smoke come out at the top of the tower, and then it collapsed down onto the streets below, much like we saw the first tower just about a half hour ago.
Gosh, this is an unbelievable, it's incredible, incredulous
And as you're looking at the at what there is of the Manhattan skyline at this point, the two most prominent landmarks, the World Trade Centers,
they're gone.
Reduced to a pile of rubble and ash.
They're gone.
Billowing above the city. Jim Smith, stay with us if you will.
That's like knocking
it's unfriggin' believable.
It changed the
like
face of New York.
Teeth out.
I've seen the entire lower half of Manhattan just completely covered in smoke, debris, dust, everything well south of Canal Street is just completely and covered in this smoke and dust at this time. There is not anything recognizable of what were the two trade towers, nothing standing out from those clouds of dust.
They're gone now. Yeah, I mean, that's the end of the World Trade Center.
What have we done so bad to deserve this?
Well, nothing.
Now we're going to go to
the only thing we've done is...
Look at that. Look at how the debris has rained down on the street.
Isaac, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard. Listen, I was in Israel for a year. This stuff happens every single day.
I know. Well, now it's been brought home, and this is what the Israelis have been saying, and really the world has not allowed them to wipe out these terrorists. But
to be completely honest with you, it's almost like to say that all Arabs are bad, that's wrong. But to say that we should stop ourselves from, retaliating against Hamas and the PLO and organizations like that's only purpose is to destroy. In other words, talk about human rights, fine. But this is not about human rights. This is about terrorism, and you have to fight an army with weapons. There's no way.
Yeah, you got to take out countries. Frank, you're on the air. Frank? No, Frank, he's gone. I don't know. So a lot of the phone lines are giving us trouble.
I can't make calls going out.
I've made a couple. If you keep doing it, it comes and it goes. But within the
city, this is unbelievable. Kathy, you're on the air.
Yeah, Howard, I'm calling from Phoenix. I just wanted to give you guys a kid's perspective. I got a 9-year-old sister that just called me and asked me, why do people hate the Americans?
Well, because we have everything, and we have a way of life that's organized and free, and they're jealous. I mean, it's an easy question to answer.
Yeah.
We have it all.
I said, honey, I'm sorry you have to witness stuff like this.
Because these other countries live in fear of their leaders.
It's unbelievable.
They're raised to hate, and we have to now recognize.
And they make us responsible for all of their misery.
It's no different than when you were a kid growing up and you were beaten. I mean, it's you either take out those that beat you or you accept it and the behavior continues.
Right. And to see a broadcast, live over TV while she's getting ready for school just... Yeah. It hit me hard.
As Robin pointed out, for a year now, they've all been saying, well, bin Laden's is preparing a big attack on the United States. I don't know if it's bin Laden on this particular thing, but once I hear he's preparing an attack, level the country he lives in. Yeah. They're protecting him.
Exactly.
Why do we care? We're a country that has it all. Now's the time to level. There's too many people in the world anyway. Level them out.
And how many other attacks have to happen that's already happened before we do something?
I hope this is enough.
Yeah, we're too worried about...
I hope this is enough that we don't care about public opinion.
Yeah. And I'm angry. I'm angry right now. I'm not even trying to... I don't care how the radio show sounds or not. I mean, I just genuinely feel this way. I don't understand if we are so hated and so at war. And there are people... I mean, what are we waiting for?
Yeah.
What are we waiting for? Michael, go ahead. And then I'm going to get out of here because there's no point in me staying on. I'm sure people are tuning to television. Don't you agree, Tom?
You know what? I think for callers like this, as long as you want to stay.
Okay.
Because I think you've got I think you have a significant purpose at this.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Then I'll stay. Michael, you're on the air.
I believe that.
Howard, good morning. Actually, I had an appointment in Brooklyn this morning. Obviously, I didn't make it, but I've been stuck in my car and down by the courts here, and actually seeing our military is now flying over all of Manhattan.
Yeah.
I've noticed 3 or 4 planes already.
Are you in a dust storm right now?
Yeah, basically we were right by the courts over there, and the dust storm was unbelievable. I've gotten out of that area finally now. I'm on my way back out to the island. But you can see the military flying over, and the police are basically asking everybody to go home, and, stores are closing up, the courts have locked up. Everything is locked up down here in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is a disaster.
This is unreal, and we don't know what else is to come. Hey, Frank, go ahead.
Hey, Howard.
Hey.
Listen, are most of the antennas located on top of the World Trade Center?
Yeah, a lot of antennas are down, right? A lot of the radio stations and television stations can't broadcast.
Yeah, Channel 9, Channel 13 are definitely out.
Yeah.
And also, the last time we were attacked, most of the radio stations went off the air.
Yes.
Why didn't that occur this time?
I can answer because most of them have moved.
Yeah.
Most of them are now on another building.
Right.
Don't even want to say.
Hey, Howard, I got a question. If you're down right in the mix of all that, with the smoke and everything like that, I mean, can you breathe in that stuff?
No. It's very difficult. That's,
we were just watching. A guy was completely covered in dust.
Yeah.
This is probably what...
we're watching now. If you're watching the news on Channel 2, New York is covered. You can't even see Lower Manhattan. Here's Ronnie Mund.
Yeah, I'll give you an update on downtown. My daughter-in-law works at 25 Broadway, which is like 5 blocks from there.
Yeah.
They're all sitting in the offices with gas masks on.
Oh, my goodness.
She can't get out?
No.
Where are they getting gas masks from?
I guess they have them. It's a city office. I guess they have them on hand.
So you spoke to her inside the building?
No, my her mother did.
And she's sitting there with a gas mask on.
They're all sitting with gas masks.
That's amazing.
Howard.
Yeah.
I'm on actually on the Jersey side, looking into New York City from Weehawken and Boulevard East.
Yeah.
You can literally, it looks like a volcano.
It does. That's what I'm seeing. It's a volcano all over Manhattan.
It's Hiroshima.
It looks like, something from a natural disaster. An earthquake, a volcano, something.
We're lucky a nuclear device wasn't dropped onto Manhattan. Yeah. This is nothing compared to what they could have done to us, and we gotta go.
And we're sitting around twiddling our thumbs.
We're going to kick some serious ass. It's got to be.
New York City lacks in security because it's unbelievable that these planes were able to get through.
Yeah, well, how do you protect it?
I mean, how do you stop it?
How do you stop? You know how you stop it? You regularly go up. As soon as you hear of terrorism going on, you blow up the whole goddamn country. Why should we risk our way of life?
Exactly.
Let's teach these clowns a lesson.
Well, to remind you one more time, these terrorist attacks kept happening during, I think it was the Reagan administration, and he finally just sent bombs over to Libya. He bombed the country.
Right. Exactly. That's what you got to do.
That's enough.
It's very simple.
You want to keep these terrorists around, we're going to bomb you.
Until you get rid of them.
Somebody's paying a price, and he said, you're going to pay the price, and all of a sudden it stopped.
Right.
Because it wasn't worth the price.
That he exactly.
Oh, I'd blow up Iran, those clowns. The Palestinian, all of them, all these nudniks.
Afghanistan,
all of them.
That's where supposedly that's where Bin Laden
is.
Yeah.
They've been keeping him company.
It's a big joke. They keep these guys and these guys pay them off. Blow them all up and be done with them. And you know what? You won't miss a night's sleep. You won't.
Exactly.
And it's really as simple as they're children over there and they're spoiled and they've gotten comfortable.
Howard.
Yeah.
After we got bombed the first time at the World Trade Center. If you went to, all the airports, they had, you could not get your car anywhere near the terminals.
This is embarrassing.
Hey, Howard.
This is embarrassing.
Even since then, you can...
Well, they've got our government running out of buildings.
Our government is scared to fight. What?
Pick up line 12, because the guy says that there's a report on Fox right now that there's a plane heading to Washington.
Hello?
A hijacked plane.
What are you hearing?
I'm watching Fox News right now, Howard, and they're saying there's a hijacked plane en route to Washington right now.
All right, let me go up on the news here, and we'll see if we can hear anything.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
We told you that unidentified plane flying to one airport, we're not told which one, somewhere in northern Virginia. We can only reiterate the developments that have happened at this point.
Speaking of developments, Michael, I can't admit what happened in Washington, D.C. beside the explosion of the plane going into the Pentagon. We heard earlier that there was an explosion at Capitol Hill. We're relieved to say that it did not exist, that did not happen. There was no explosion at Capitol Hill, but we did hear reports earlier that there was a fire at the very popular Washington Mall in Washington, D.C. Cindy Hsu is in our newsroom. She's keeping up abreast of...
Where's the pictures of the Pentagon, by the way? Is that blacked out?
I'm sure a lot of people are making calls down to friends lower Manhattan. The phones in the city are overloaded. Do not be surprised if you cannot get through. We're having a lot of trouble on the phone lines. We have an update on the schools. Now listen carefully. PS and IS 89 and PS 234.
Holy cow.
The students there are being walked to PS 41 at 116 West 11th Street. Let me say that again.
Howard, can you hear me?
PS and IS 89.
What are you saying?
Students from PS 234.
Wait. What?
They're bringing kids to my kid's school right now.
Right.
That's where she is.
Hello, Howard.
Yeah. Who's there, Cabby? Hello, who just talked?
That was Cabby.
He went dead.
Howard, I'm here.
Oh, there he is. Okay, yeah, hi.
The police have gone up on the Williamsburg Bridge, and now people from there's a walkway that goes across the bridge. They're running back into Brooklyn. I don't know why, but they're running. They're not walking back.
What's going on, Tom? What did you just hear?
Saying that part of the Pentagon has collapsed.
Part of the Pentagon just collapsed.
There are about 100 people inside of the command center of Bellevue Hospital right now working on patients. We're told there are 8 patients here right now. One of those patients is DOA. They have closed the hospital down to all patients except for those being brought from this tragic incident from lower Manhattan. They say they have the ability to triage hundreds of patients here, but they say they have never had a disaster like this. So they will really be testing their mettle under these circumstances. And they have called all staff, all doctors, all nurses, all aides. Everyone has been called into the...
We hate to interrupt you. We've just been told.
A fourth explosion. Now in the area of the World Trade Center. Obviously, neither tower is still standing. We don't know the source of this fourth explosion, but we do have Cindy Hsu in the newsroom. Perhaps she can shed a little light on this for us, Cindy.
Can't tell you much about the fourth explosion. What I can tell you is happening right now. 20 minutes ago, a 767 from Pittsburgh was hijacked. We believe that plane is headed towards Washington or Northern Virginia. 767 from Pittsburgh was hijacked. Also, a plane has gone down in Pennsylvania. That's according to CNN. A plane down in Pennsylvania. And the Board of Elections, also on the elections, the Board of Elections has canceled today's primary. So voters stay at home. Board of Elections has canceled today's primary. That's the latest now from the newsroom.
All right. Well, we mentioned it just a minute, Michael, ago, that there was an unidentified aircraft that was approaching an airport in Northern Virginia. Apparently, it is that 767 from Pittsburgh that's approaching Northern Virginia Airport.
And Cindy, if you're still there, I just want to clarify. You're saying there's a plane down, a report of a plane down somewhere else in Pennsylvania?
Yes, we are getting that from CNN is reporting that there is a plane down in Pennsylvania, a large plane.
As well as now a fourth explosion at the site of the World Trade Center. As you continue to look live at the scene across New York Harbor, what is left of the skyline is truly just smoke and ash right now. And parents, as you continue to watch with us, here's what Cindy had told us regarding children in that area. The kids from PS 89 and 234 were taken to PS 141. And those students at PS 150 were taken to PS 3. The children are not obviously going anywhere. We're told that they are safe. We'll have the parents there to pick them up, but clearly in this chaotic situation, we don't imagine that you'll be able to get in there to get them. However, take some comfort in knowing that the word from those schools is that the children are doing okay. Cindy?
What can you tell us? Cindy, back to you in the newsroom.
Right. More bad news. Part of the Pentagon has collapsed. That's according to CNN. We're now hearing that part of the Pentagon has collapsed. Let's go locally one more time with those schools. It's PS 89 and 234. The kids are actually being walked to PS 41, and that's at 116 West 11th. And students from PS 150 are being walked to PS 3, which is located at Christopher and Hudson. And again, that's where parents can pick up the kids. And once again, I just have to reiterate, the phone lines are really, a lot of people are having trouble getting through, so that has to be really tough, but that's happening citywide.
All right, again, Cindy, do me a favor and repeat that those schools changes again, too. I know a lot of people are needing to hear that.
Right, it's PS 89 and PS 234, and all those students are now being walked to PS 41, and that is located at 116 West 11th.
Okay. Cindy, stay with us as we continue to update people. We just want to recap what it is that's happened today, and you can help us fill in some of the blanks as we're all getting bombarded with information.
Robin, I'm just trying to...
they're just about to update.
Okay, let's hear it.
Out of Boston, American Airlines Flight 11 hit the first tower before 9 of the World Trade Center. 18 minutes later, a crash in the second tower, then a crash at the Pentagon, and you're now reporting that a portion of the Pentagon has collapsed?
Yes, that's what we're hearing from CNN, and we're also hearing that the Pentagon is monitoring that 767 that has been hijacked from Pittsburgh, which is believed that plane is believed to be headed to Washington or Northern Virginia. So they're hoping to, head that off before something else happens.
Just a reminder, folks, if you're joining us now, you're looking at a live picture from the Pentagon there on the left of your screen. The New York,
actually, it's a
tape of the Pentagon, I'm sorry, and the New York skyline there on the right. Cindy, if you're still with us, we have a confirmation of a fire at the Washington Mall as well, and an explosion at the State Department, which right now the Associated Press is reporting that it was in fact a car bomb.
Right. And okay.
All bridges and tunnels closed into Manhattan, as you would imagine. The city under a lockdown, an emergency alert as the mayor, the governor, round up their people and try to assess the damage.
Robin, I haven't been listening, but John just came in and said he heard that another plane had just been hijacked in Pittsburgh.
Right, that's what they were saying on the tube, was that a Pittsburgh airport plane had been hijacked, and that's the one flying toward Virginia.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know what they're doing. They're watching.
Maybe at this point we should just keep listening to the feed for a while and see what's going on.
It's freaking scary.
There's a bunch of people on the phone now, so people are able to get through on their phones.
Only on some.
On some.
Oh, the primary day has been canceled. You're supposed to go out and vote for a mayor candidate.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing that today.
You're not doing that today.
You're looking live now, but we're going to, in a minute, rewind the tape and then show it to you as it started. Here's a tape of the second plane that went into tower number 2. At just about 9:20 this morning, it crashed into the 110-story tower, exploding into flames, sending debris everywhere, and that happened at about 9:20, the first plane having crashed into tower number 1 at 9 o'clock.
40,000 people working between the two centers right now, and we only can imagine what's happening as far as buildings nearby. We have not heard too many reports from the other buildings in that area. Now you're looking at tape from the collapse of the first tower, and not long after that, the collapse of the second tower.
About a half an hour later.
Again, children in the area, in the schools in that area, we are told are doing well. We're told they're fine. Of course, they're being held in those schools. Children from PS 89, PS 234 taken to PS 41. Kids from PS 150 taken to PS 3. They're not going anywhere until parents can come to get them. And frankly, folks, from what we're able to see, this could take quite a bit of time. And just now, the Associated Press reporting that a large plane, to reiterate what Cindy Shu had brought us, a large plane crashed in western Pennsylvania. Officials at Somerset County Airport are confirming this. The AP report. We've also heard reports that there was a...
there is a hijacked 767 out of Pittsburgh that is circling an airport in northern Virginia. Not sure if it's Washington National Airport or Dulles Airport, which is now Reagan Airport. But that the authorities, of course, have a beat on that, but that we understand that 767 out of Pittsburgh has been hijacked.
Let's refocus our attention, if we can, on the situation here in New York City. Lou Young joining us on the phone. Lou?
Well, we were just trying to get to City Hall a few moments ago. Walking down from Canal Street, everything, as you know, was completely blocked. Seas of people coming the other way, dumbfounded by the collapse of the first tower, and some of them covered with soot, many of them trying to just get out of town. City Hall, of course, was blocked off at that point because it was literally in the shadow or the potential fall zone of the second tower, which was at that point in danger of falling. We worked our way around to the south, trying to link up with...
All right, so we're trying to figure out what's going on here. Double A's on the phone. Where are you getting this report from?
I'm watching Channel 42 News. It's New Jersey. They're saying that 2 more planes got hijacked out of Boston, and they're headed for L.A.
Oh, my God.
This is sick, man. What the hell's going on here?
This is an organized effort like we've never seen. I mean, how could the FBI or the CIA not be aware of this?
Heads will roll on this one.
Has
if there are any heads left when they're done.
Right.
Has anybody said that? They're also saying that the White House knew about this stuff?
They had a credible report of a terrorist attack. We're aware that the plane that was hijacked out of Pittsburgh has crashed.
It has?
Yes, that's what
that's
what I mean. That's what I mean.
Where did it crash into?
About 80 miles outside of Pittsburgh.
So, in other words,
that's what I was just told right outside.
We don't know if it was shot down.
We don't know.
And there are people on that plane? I'm talking about passengers?
We would assume so, but we just don't know.
This is a sick day.
I just don't ever recall a time where a plane was hijacked. We didn't immediately know about it.
Why are they still being hijacked?
All right, here's what I know. The plane crashed in Somerset County, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Howard?
Yeah.
Maybe the pilot just flew it into the ground.
You think the pilot's, just saying, I'd rather crash in an unpopulated area at this point?
Let's just kill ourselves.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
But now, Ganji just told me that people are assuming that the actual pilots are not,
I don't think so.
That can't be. No, that they're not the actual pilots. They're just like some
I think some terrorists.
Howard, there's an exodus of people, it appears, walking on the FDR towards the Williamsburg Bridge through the park here.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, Richie was in the Times Square area, who works for E. He says he's walking to Queens, and Casey and Benji are asking me, do I feel safe here? I was like, I don't feel safe anywhere in this country right now.
Where are you going to go?
What am I going to do, walk to Connecticut? I mean, what do you do?
Well, Casey just bailed out. He told me he didn't feel safe in the building, and he wants to be on the ground.
He lives on the ground floor, so fine.
Look, I want to be on...
He's going to go home to his basement.
There's a guy...
That was their plan, Howard. They instill fear. That's what they wanted to do, was the fear factor.
Don't expect KC to defend it.
Yeah, like I want to be the foxhole with KC.
I'll tell you one thing. I've never been, the Vietnam War. I never want to go fight, but I'll go fight this one.
This is something to fight.
I'll enlist right now. God damn it, fly over there and help blow up these pricks.
I'll be right with you, Howard. I'll be right there with you.
You bet.
You know what, Howard? You know what I keep saying to John?
Casey, you get on the ground floor, buddy, if you're nervous. I'm serious. I'm not even making fun of you. You go ahead. Go ahead. Get down. I'm serious. If you're not comfortable, leave.
Go where you're comfortable. Because nobody's comfortable here now anyway.
Up on on a high floor like this.
Good. All right, so go.
Think about canning.
Don't worry. You can go. This is a real thing. If you have a real fear, you should leave.
Hey, Howard, you know what really scares me now is the bedlam on the streets of New York now. Is there going to be a lot of looting now? Are people going to go...
No. I don't know. I hope not.
God that we have the respect and dignity not to do that.
You know, Howard, the thing that freaks me out? How on earth will I ever explain this to my son?
You won't.
Can't. What do you mean? Just say that.
Well, if we don't do anything, you really will have trouble explaining it.
Bush has got to come to play here, man. He's got to.
Well, yeah, he's probably busy right now planning something.
I'm telling you, and you know who's going to have a big, heavy hand in this is Colin Powell.
That's the man.
He's going to go in and tell them this is what we got to do.
Fox News.
Any confirm on who it is?
Yeah, Fox News is reporting a second plane is headed toward the Pentagon. A second plane. Let me go.
There's supposed to be no planes flying. If a plane is flying,
let me go to the feed and let's see if we can hear what's really going on.
It takes time to land.
Take off at all. Virtual no-fly zone, no aircraft within any distance of Manhattan at this time.
That's completely understandable.
Jim, we know you're about 5-6 miles away from downtown Manhattan, but from your vantage point, what update, if any, can you give us on what you're seeing along the streets there?
Well, Michael, we can tell you that some of the smoke, dust, and debris is starting to clear out. Earlier, we were unable to see anything on the lower half of Manhattan. We are currently looking towards the Battery Park area. And we could see some buildings now becoming visible that we were unable to see earlier. We have noticed a lot of...
We're not learning anything new there.
No, nothing there.
Let me see something. Someone's got to report that PLO is taking responsibility. Josh, where did you hear that? Josh? Josh, are you there? Josh? Yeah,
if Yasser Arafat had anything to do with it, I mean, you know...
well, I'm sure he knew about it, believe me.
Now the traffic lanes on the Williamsburg Bridge are filled with people that appear to be coming from the downtown area. They're walking slow. Looks like they're covered in soot. They're just getting out of the city.
All right.
How are we still? I thought our antenna is somewhere over there.
It's not. We moved it after the last
explosion.
I don't know what to say at this point. We're watching. Third explosion caused the collapse. It's just out of control. Out of freaking control. Let me see if anybody's got any information here. Darren, go ahead. Darren?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Howard, you need to stay on the air. You have the best coverage. You have a bird's eye view with Cabby and Doug in New York. I'm out here in Boston, and your coverage is fantastic, better than the network.
Okay, good. Then I'll stay on the air.
You're doing a great public service right now. You have a network of listeners.
I turned off my microphone for a while. I said to Tom, should I get off the air? And Tom said, believe it or not, you're doing a good job here, and people are calling like crazy. You need to speak, and especially for people outside of New York. So I'll stay on the air.
Definitely.
All right, thanks.
Doing a great job.
All right.
It appears that the smoke coming out of downtown has now turned black.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that there's buildings on fire. I mean, that's what only one could assume, because when the building collapsed, it was clear, kind of a cloud of dusty smoke, and now it's pitch black smoke.
They said other buildings were affected, Cabby, when the buildings collapsed.
Hey, Cabby.
Well, no, I'm saying they're probably on fire now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were.
Other buildings are affected now.
Yeah.
Hey, Cabby.
Look at the people. See, they're covered in dust. They're walking out of that area.
Yeah.
I see a guy in a suit covered in dust, freaking out. Let's see. People are in shock. I'm talking about that other guy next to him.
That, of course, is traveling for miles.
The two towers, 110 stories tall each. And
I'm not getting any news about what's going on. Let me talk to Doug.
How do they breathe in that area of the city right now?
I'll put Doug on with you here, too. Doug?
Hey, so basically the whole city is under major caution for the quality of air. They're afraid the wind is going to shift now. They evacuated our rooftop because if the wind comes, they're afraid, like basically anyone in New York City or within a 5-mile radius is practically in serious danger, is what they're saying, because the air once the air shifts, people are it's just going to take people by storm.
All this dust is going to come flying.
You can't survive in it. And the other thing is, Howard, a public service you should do right now is the best attempt to find how people can volunteer, because the city is beyond. You could get 4 states worth of emergency workers, and you're still going to be understaffed.
Hold on, let me ask you a question, Doug. Where is the smoke headed now?
It's headed towards downtown Brooklyn.
It's probably within 30 blocks of my apartment, and I'm about maybe 90 blocks away from from the Twin Towers.
What direction are you?
I am north of the Twin Towers by about probably 2.5 miles or 3 miles. But I mean, it's so visible.
Cabby, what are you doing?
I'm going to go.
You're going to leave? Go ahead, John. What is it, Cabby?
The smoke is going basically out to sea almost, like past downtown Brooklyn, towards the Coney Island area.
That's where it's going now, but they're afraid that a wind shift is going to be devastating.
I can imagine, because it'll cloud the whole city up. Right. And when we were in the Persian Gulf, Howard, when Saddam Hussein lit the oil wells on fire, we were in smoke very similar to this for 2 days, and it is impossible to breathe. I mean, we had our gas masks on, of course, at times for 12 hours at a shot. But even through then, you had to rechange the filters. And all these people in Manhattan have no gas masks. They have no... Right. So, I mean, I would recommend people leave on
not prepared for this.
So what do? You can't leave, and yet you can't breathe.
And someone just put a thing up on my screen that the Port Authority police are calling in more bombs in the World Trade Center. Is that? Can someone give me who's writing that down and what's going on? Let me see. I got to know what's going on with this.
But Howard, I mean, they need help. Is the bottom line. Now is not the time to help, but someone should call in and. There's got to be a way for people to volunteer to help.
Well,
I'm ready to go down there and do something, but I
have no idea how you do that.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I don't know, but I mean, the police can't handle this. No emergency crews can handle this.
And who knows how many police and fire were down at the base of that thing and are under all that debris.
I know. This is devastating.
Channel 7 just had a shot a block away once the building collapsed, and I mean, you just can see fire trucks just disappear.
Oh my God!
I don't know if they were, if they were crushed, but they just disappear in the smoke, and you can only imagine. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, you're talking you're talking 220 stories of concrete, glass, and
billions of tons of debris.
Yeah.
I'm monitoring the TV. There's nothing new on there right now, so I'm just.
The Williamsburg Bridge is now completely filled with people, which is usually filled with cars, and they're all coming into Brooklyn.
Some British dudes on the phone. Hello. Hello?
No, Brit?
Yeah, hi. Oh, Brit. Oh, I thought it was a British dude. It said.
Hi.
Sorry, Brit. What is it?
What?
Hello? What?
Hi. Is this Howard?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
I was listening to your show this morning about 8 a.m. You had on the hiccup guy.
Oh, God.
You got to be kidding me.
Thinking,
hang up on her.
There's really nothing going on in the world. It's eerily quiet. There's a violent hatred brewing in the Middle East. Who's thinking about it? What the hell are we doing about it?
In the Middle East, it's already brewed here, woman.
Yeah, she's a little out of it.
Oh, my God.
She prognosticated something.
Yeah, she thinks when we had the hiccup guy on, she thought about the Middle East. I don't even want to... Listen, forget that.
I would not be surprised, because when I was in the 82nd Airborne, Howard, when incidents around the world would happen, we were immediately put on standby, and I would not be surprised if our troops of the Special Forces, of the Marine Recon, of the Navy SEALs are not flying to places to eradicate these types of situations.
Well, I would guess, Doug, I would guess the people in the military are going to be brought in.
I mean, you know what? Anyone who claims this, whether we have proof or not, just freaking annihilate their country. Don't worry about the kids, the old people. Just freaking wipe the country.
Yeah, teach them a lesson.
Everybody there.
Just wipe them out. You see how they wiped out the Twin Towers? Wipe out the country. Babies. Who cares about their babies?
Yeah, no one cares about their babies, not me. Yeah. Hey, listen, let me go up to the CBS feed here. We'll put it up and we'll see if we can learn anything new.
Specifically, security has clamped down across our state, and there were plans to increase security at border points. Governor George Pataki has canceled his New York City events. Let's go to New Jersey, where airports and river crossings to New York City are closed. Traffic is reported snarled on the Jersey Turnpike. Path commuter trains canceled. At Newark International Airport, there are officers with shotguns block the road leading to Port Authority offices and the air traffic control. There is no service into New York City on the LIRR or Metro North. And again, we've told you that subway service is shut down here. Now, as far as people trying to find out about their loved ones, we keep telling you that the phones
I'm live with my...
You talk about your love. I was just trying to contact my daughter who lives in Manhattan, and I just got a hold of her. But I mean, it's like it's crazy.
Yeah, my wife Marlo is she's in the 20s, and she's in a panic mode. She can't get home. She's just running on the streets.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's running home as quick as she can, and it's scared because she doesn't have a cell phone. I can't get in touch with her.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take like a 5-minute break. I'm going to put up the CBS News feed. If you guys want to hang to the feed for a while, I'm going to try and regroup in a few minutes.
All right.
Thanks, Harry. You're doing a great job.
Many people, thousands of people that had been here in the street had been moving in waves in order to get away from the billowing smoke and debris that came as the towers came down. There were people who said that They had run down the stairways in the buildings, and they said that while they were getting rather sooty as they were coming down, it was quite controlled. Everyone was orderly. But then when they got to the ground, some people said they were fortunate enough to come out the right side of the building where no debris was coming out, and they were able to join people in the World Financial Center and also people at Stuyvesant High School and the school across the street, where everybody was coming out, and lots of people were crying, holding on to each other, and many of those people were covered with soot as they tried to move ahead of the waves of incredible billowing smoke that was coming. When one jet fighter scrambled the area, some people were saying, where were those guys earlier? Because a lot of these people had said they were in their offices and they witnessed not only the second plane hit, but they saw the first plane hit. And then a portion of World Trade 1 came down, and that's when everybody started really moving. Before that, the police, in trying to control the area, kept moving the perimeter farther and farther out, unclear of what was going to happen. They got word that there might be a third plane that was going to hit the area. They moved the perimeter back. Then a portion of World Trade 1 came down. They moved the perimeter back. Then World Trade went down, and the place just went up for grabs. Everybody was running. Emergency people were running. Police were running. It was an unbelievable sight. And the people who were caught in it came out absolutely covered with debris, covered with a very fine chalky powder, and many firemen were suffering the worst of it in having breathed this. Some hoses had been set up by the fire department for firefighters to take off their bunker gear and to try to get the soot out of their noses, out the powder out of their noses, out of their mouths, and off of their heads and their eyes. There are people that still, there are cars around that are covered with this thick soot. And Carol Marin from 60 Minutes was one of those inside. I'm going to hand this over to you now, Carol.
John, I can't hear, so I don't know who I'm talking to. I just came out of and around Battery Park. After the second tower went down, I was trying to make my way to a CBS crew or to try to help CBS crews if I could. And then, I don't know what it was, John, but another explosion, a rolling blast of fire, a rolling column of fire towards us. If my respect for fire and police already knew no bounds, given the danger, it now exceeds what I thought it could, because a firefighter threw me into the wall of a building, covered me with his body as the flames approached us. And another police officer in New York named Brendan Duke, wherever he is, got me through smoke that neither one of us could see more than about a foot ahead of us. There are still people in there. Excuse me, I've breathed a fair amount of soot. The personnel, the police and the fire working in there are doing so against really dangerous odds, and they still don't know if there's something else left to explode, John.
Where were you at the time?
I was, not being a New Yorker, you'll have to help me here. I came around Stuyvesant High School, and that street is North End, and I came up and asked if anyone had seen a CBS crew. And I was directed by a firefighter who said, walk down the middle of the road because you don't know what's going to come down. At which point we heard a rumble like I've never heard before, and a firefighter ran towards me. We ran as fast as we could. I lost my shoes. I fell down. He picked me up and slammed me into a wall and covered me with him until we could make it more to safety.
Was this from the first rolling blast or the second?
John, I looked at my watch. It was about 10:44 is what my watch said. So it was after the second, I think the second tower explosion.
All right, Carol Marin from CBS 60 Minutes. I'm John Slattery, back to the studio.
All right, John, thank you.
We're going to go to Marcia Kramer now. She's got another update for us. Marcia?
Well, we're trying to keep track of those 8 hijacked planes. We now have word that one of those planes may be in the area near Dulles Airport. Again, one of those hijacked planes may be in the air near Dulles Airport. We seem to have been able to account for a total of 5 of the planes. There's the one in the air right now near Dulles. There's one that we now have unconfirmed reports that crashed near Somerset County Airport in western Pennsylvania. and there are the 3 that have struck American targets, 2 at the World Trade Center and 1 in Washington at the Pentagon. That's 5. The question is, where are the other 3 planes and where are they headed? Again, we do have a report that one of the 8 planes that have been hijacked is on its way somewhere near Dulles Airport, some target in the Texas area. Back to you, Lisa and Michael. Okay.
Marsha, thank you. Just to quickly recap, if you're just now joining us, you're looking at live pictures
on the left side of your screen
of a scene that cannot be described. The World Trade Centers hit by hijacked planes, exploding, collapsing. You're looking at crews as they scramble to help anybody at all. 50,000 people work at the trade centers. 200,000, Michael O'Looney reporting, move through that area every day. And we spoke a moment ago with John Slattery, who is just north of the trade center site at West Street in Murray. David Diaz also on the phone. He's down in Lower Manhattan with further details. David?
Well, this is the situation. Some people remember the phrase in the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still. Well, it was kind of like that for New York City today as I was making my way down the streets. The people standing still, pouring out into the streets, looking in awe, amazement, shock, and grief and anger at what they were seeing in front of them, what used to be the World Trade Center towers up in smoke. The streets full of people also running, however, so not everyone was standing still. People were running north, people bending over from exhaustion, other people just hyperventilating from the shock of it, other people around phone lines, in front of phones, some of them on the phone, crying hysterically, others trying to calm them, other people very anxious and getting very upset, trying to get to a phone to find out whether any of their loved ones were in the area as they suspected they were. You had other people coming to their aid, comforting them, having them sit down, bringing them water. Tremendous cooperation on the streets of New York City this morning in this tremendous shock wave, not the shock wave physically from the buildings themselves, but a shock wave that terrorism had apparently struck so forcefully and so visibly to everyone here, and people just poured out of their offices. Work will not be done in New York City today as everyone is out on the streets. The subways, where I started my journey trying to get down to the World Trade Center, became total gridlock before finally they were closed down, people pouring out of subway entrances. But usually there were announcements in the subways, in fact, what had happened, so people knew what this was all about. But that also added to the edge in the subway system, because once people started hearing this and assuming at that point, not even knowing that it was terrorism, suddenly, of course, thoughts started to come into people's heads that maybe some bombs would be planted in the subways as well. So terrorism, striking terror into the hearts of people, that has been accomplished, because New York City is feeling terror today, and the streets are filled with people experiencing it, and the grief and the uncertainty that follows all of that. That's the scene as I've seen it on the streets as I've approached the World Trade Center, 7th Avenue, 6th Avenue, 8th Avenue, and all of the surrounding streets. Almost all of the movement is northbound, people trying to get away from the scene of the explosions, fearing that there are more to come.
You're still seeing debris and soot all around you, David?
Yes, the clouds keep billowing. The soot actually seems to have not reached much further at this point than just about Canal Street. And the wind is blowing mainly towards the east, so I would expect that it's being carried towards not only over the South Street Seaport area, but into downtown Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Heights area. I suspect would be getting a pretty big dose of it as well.
David Diaz, stay close.
Yeah, you know what? While we're waiting right now a further report from our Todd McDermott, who's been working the information on the phones all morning long, we want to reiterate to parents as you're watching this whole scene unfold, there are schools in that area, as you're well aware of, and those children in PS 89 and PS 234, students from those schools have been taken to PS 41. Students from PS 150 have been taken to PS 3. Those students are under what's called lockdown. They're not being released on their own. They're just waiting for parents to get there to pick them up. But frankly, folks, from the pictures that you're seeing here from Chopper 2, there is no telling how long it will take you to get to those children.
Hate to interrupt you. We got to go to Jennifer McLogan, who's live at JFK Airport. Jennifer, take it away.
Kennedy International Airport right now entirely closed down. We're in the midst of a terrorism sweep behind me. Cars are being inspected. Individual air terminals are being emptied as K-9 units that walked before us a short time ago and explosive experts make their way through. Gridlock on the ground. Skies are empty of planes, but billowing smoke from those towers can be seen. It's very, very visible here. No one wants to fly, even if they could. Everyone is panicked about being hijacked. That's what they're telling me. Their lives forever changed by today's horror. The control tower is being evacuated. People feel helpless, confused, unable to make a decision. We are outside the American Airlines terminal. Its employees now being evacuated, worried, hurt, concerned about co-workers and passengers that may have been on that plane out of Boston. It is a nightmare that no one wants to
experience.
It's a nightmare that
nobody wants to.
We want to awaken from. And we're a little, I was distracted there because a gentleman from the airlines has just come up and told me that we must evacuate now because they're still worried about bombs, even here at Kennedy.
Okay.
Sure,
Lisa, Michael?
Jennifer, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And let's go to Todd McDermott. He's been working on a report in our information center. Todd, what can you tell us?
Well, first of all, there are now reports from CBS News that a plane apparently has crashed at or near Camp David, the weekend White House, if you will. Right now at the White House, they have decided they are making plans right now to get all the major leaders of the government out of Washington. Also, another key element here as we try to piece together who did this and why it happened, it has been pointed out, it is the anniversary, September 11th, of the Camp David Accords. Again, speculation that the reason this attack has taken place is in retaliation for U.S. support of the Israeli government. Also, we have reports that the jet that has been circling Dulles Airport in Northern Virginia, perhaps to launch another attack on the Pentagon, is surrounded by American Air Force F-16s right now. Again, that is believed to be another hijacked aircraft at this time. They are trying to hail that plane, but it has been surrounded by F-16s. Obviously, in this situation, should another attack perhaps be possible, it may be up to the Air Force to decide to shoot that plane down. Again, we have no confirmation that is a plan at this point, but they have surrounded the aircraft as they try to determine what the next move is, but that is believed to be perhaps another hijacked aircraft. Again, another key here is the responsibility. Who will take responsibility for this attack, if any group ever does? There have been various reports from the Reuters news service of unconfirmed taking responsibility for this attack. So far, we do know that one well-known terrorist or pro-Arab, anti-Israel faction has denied responsibility for this attack. It remains to be seen whether anyone eventually takes responsibility, but we do know, again, there is a report of another plane down near Camp David. Further reports that the American government is making plans to evacuate all government leaders from the Washington, D.C. area. And Michael, Lisa, back to you.
Hey, Todd, real quickly, Marcia Kramer reported earlier that we had heard perhaps 8 planes had been hijacked, and we are trying to account for as many as possible. Does that crash at Camp David lead us to think that perhaps there are more than 8 planes?
Actually, right now, CBS News has reported that FBI says 4 planes were hijacked before they crashed into targets. It still remains to be seen if there are actually more still in the air.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hi.
At this point, we can't confirm that.
I'm back. I took a break. I called a couple of people... family members. I can't even get through on...
I was going to say, you were able to get through?
Well, I got through to Allison. I spoke to my daughter, who lives in Manhattan, and was able to get through there. But
I haven't been able to get through to anybody.
I can't get through to other people, though.
If you call a lot of times, like I called about 5 times, got through to my mom in Florida. And, if you just have to keep hitting speed dial, but it's sort of working.
Yeah. What the hell is there to say? I don't know. I don't even feel like being on the air anymore, but... Tom tells me I should do it.
I mean, it's only been 2 hours, and it's hard to believe
that
the World Trade Centers don't exist anymore.
I was so nervous. Like, I just called my daughter because,
she's downtown.
Yeah. She's okay. I should just stay indoors because aren't they saying that smoke and debris can really overcome you?
They're saying if you breathe the air now, you'll get affected by this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Have you been listening to the news?
A little bit. I was trying to contact people, too. I was unable to, but there have been a couple of other reports that there was a plane attack on, a crash at Camp David?
Camp David. Doug,
am I here?
Yeah, you guys are all back.
Hey, Howard, can I just make an announcement?
Yeah.
There was just a desperate cry for blood, so I have a bunch of numbers. The main number is 800-933-BLOOD, and locations right now that are up and running waiting for people to donate blood. 53rd Street in Lexington in the City Court Building. That's 53rd Street in Lexington in City Court Building. 168th Street and Broadway. 150 Amsterdam Avenue, which is on the west side of Manhattan, 67th Street and 2nd Avenue, and of course all 4 of those are in New York City. There's also nybloodcenter.org. They desperately need blood, is what it looks like. Anyone between the ages of 17 and 65 years of age. If you're able to get down there, do it ASAP. And if you have a cold or anything, they will not accept you. So only healthy people in good health right now. That's what they're looking for desperately.
Cabby.
Howard, what the news was saying was that the plane that is flying over Dulles Airport is a hijacked plane, they believe, and it's surrounded by Air Force F-16s. And today is the anniversary of the Camp David Accords, where the United States and Israel really became tight.
Oh, is that right?
So this is why today was chosen.
Yeah, I knew there was some significance to today. I have no idea what it was.
Yeah, it was a big deal to them.
It's the religion that's causing this. Is that what it is?
Yeah, they're doing this in the name of Allah.
Yeah, I got something for Allah.
Now Bin Laden has denied any involvement.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
yeah.
now nobody's
Who cares?
taking responsibility for
Yeah, but you know what? Who cares? Let's go get him anyway.
You did
this one, you did others.
Yeah, you did others.
Get him on the way to
so you didn't do this
get
one.
the real people.
Right.
Even he's afraid to take responsibility for this.
Well, I think he's beginning to realize they missed their target, and there's going to be retribution.
Yep.
I just saw a shot from downtown right by the zone. It looks like it snowed. There's so much soot. It's thick. It's inches thick on the ground. They're all wearing gas masks.
Yeah,
and, my wife just got home, thank God.
Yeah, that soot is traveling through the sky. I mean, like, I don't know.
It's like the ash from a volcano.
Yeah.
You don't want to breathe it.
Yeah, they're saying it's toxic if you breathe it in.
Yeah. And the airport's completely shut down, and they're searching cars, and the soot appears to be heading that way.
Marlo, pick up the phone. Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Marlo pick up. She just ran home from downtown. She said it's
Where was she?
Chaos. She was down in the 20s. Howard, you're Marlo, you're on the air with Howard.
Hey, Marlo.
Hello, hi.
Where were you?
I was just walking back from the office, and I didn't even want to get into a cab. Actually, there was, I don't know, I think it was like, I don't know if the driver of the cab was Arab or whatever, but some guy was punching the windshield of the front of the... I'm sorry, I can't even breathe. I just walked in the door.
Right.
It's mayhem outside.
People were punching the cab driver?
No, not the cab driver, but the windshield.
Oh, they were attacking the cab.
Trying to attack the cab driver, or the cab itself.
Because he was an Arab?
I think he was black, actually. But I don't know. I don't know why. I just walked away because I didn't want any gunshots or anything.
Is that like looting, Tom, you think? Or what do you think?
I think that people probably thought it's a taxi. It must be an Arab driving the taxi. It must attack the taxi. I mean, I would think...
Yeah, that ain't the right way to go.
No, exactly.
No, that ain't the right way to go.
That's what they would love. They would love for this country to collapse in chaos.
Yeah, we have to unite. We get united behind the president, no matter what you think of him, and he's got to come up with the plan, and then let's hope that this dude comes up with the right plan. And you all know what the plan is.
He's going to have the advice of the best military minds in the world.
Howard, do you have Channel 2 on right now?
Yeah.
You see that?
Let me put it up.
Fire trucks, they're just destroyed.
Yeah, those are the fire trucks. Everything's flattened. Everything around the World Trade Center is flattened out.
I haven't even seen anything on TV.
Oh, wait till you see the pictures.
I just saw it right now.
If that doesn't get you crazy, nothing will.
Everyone was in the office we had a huge board meeting, and everyone just left or trying to... They don't know what to do with themselves. Just walking around like...
I know. The same thing's going on here.
Stunned,
We're all walking around not knowing what to do. Some people have left. Some have stayed.
I think you should stay. I think you're doing a big service to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because you have, all the feeds coming to you. You can just pop anyone up. I think it's helping. There's more information coming through you.
Plus, Doug, as you continue to get information like you've been feeding us.
Yeah, this is good.
Keep feeding that information. That's important public information that we need to get out.
Look, that is an ambulance or a fire truck.
All right, speaking of information, here's Stormin from Cleveland. Stormin, hi.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Now, what are you hearing?
I'm hearing over here on the TV they got in Cleveland, the mayor's on the TV saying that there's a jet on the runway they're not letting take off that supposedly has a bomb on it.
This is a guy in Cleveland now.
Yep.
Holy cow.
They got it on TV right now. The mayor's on the TV saying something about a jet on the runway.
They are everywhere.
Yeah, how the hell did these guys organize something like this and no one in the intelligence community picked up on this?
You know how it happens? We have a free society. You can move around and congregate.
I know, it's just amazing that nobody even squealed.
And then you can take advantage of it.
How is everyone quiet?
Can't they monitor cell phones? I mean, with the tech
they do.
They have.
Obviously,
I don't understand
they're not using that kind of communication.
Jesus Christ, you can't hear these slurpy bastards.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard in the elevator coming up that there was like 2 airplanes coming over from England that are hijacked.
Oh.
That's what. Well, there's a guy on the phone. Hey, Jeff. Jeff, you there? He might be gone.
No, this is Marlene.
Oh, Marlene, hi. What do you want to say?
I'm from Pittsburgh, and that plane that was hijacked, the D.C. come from Pittsburgh. They've shut Pittsburgh down, basically. They got the USX Tower, the federal buildings, and everything all evacuated. They're checking all our tunnels. They're stopping cars, checking them for bombs.
By the way, one of the things, I'm having trouble getting through on the phones to the people that I care about, people in my life that I'm trying to check on who live here in Manhattan. One of the things that's working, I was just talking to my daughter, AOL, the instant message is working, two-way pages are working, and, the Internet's up and working, obviously.
Oh, my God.
What?
You said both World Trade Towers have collapsed.
You didn't even know that.
I'm sorry, I'm too late. I've been walking.
That's all right, Marlo. Yeah, that happened a long time ago.
Howard, they've evacuated the White House and the United Nations. They've closed down all 3 airports locally here, which would be JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark.
Well, the worst thing is that our American government is making arrangements to hide all of our leaders.
Yep, we're under attack.
Yeah, but they've got to have somebody left to make plans.
Let me go to Travis. He's got new information out of Detroit. Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, I'm just calling. I'm under the understanding there are not supposed to be any planes in the air, and I'm driving around about 30 miles north of Detroit, and I have seen, I'm assuming it's the same plane, about 3 times.
Circling.
He's got no place to land, probably.
Well, I
you better go to Canada.
Howard, switch over to Channel 7 if you can.
Hey, Gary, come over and switch channels for me, will you?
They just got off the shot. It looks like a snowstorm, and that was like 20 blocks plus away. It's just inches and inches of white soot.
Yeah, that's all right. I got the same shot here on Channel 2. I'm okay. Wow.
Unbelievable. There's so many buildings that the towers collapsed on that also it took down with it, obviously.
I hesitate to say that there's no new information. The fact of the matter is that there's so much information and there's so much chaos that we literally can't confirm anything. We don't know what's going on.
It is so eerie looking outside. I mean, it is just dead. The FDR Drive is there's not a car on it. The bridges are all completely, there's nothing.
We're under attack.
Eerie. Yeah.
It's so unbelievable that more things you keep hearing.
American Airlines confirms loss of 2 flights.
Maybe we better go up on this.
Yeah, let's listen to this.
Information that's available to them at this time. You are also setting up triage centers in front of the hospital so they don't even have
Wait a second, we're going to CNN now because there's United Airlines passenger jet crashed near Pittsburgh.
And American
saying
they've lost 2 planes.
Fit into what we believe flies Chicago to New York is also down as well.
We're forgetting the drama that goes on in these planes.
I do not know
because they are
the
planes full of people.
There.
Right.
Let me just go back on okay, I do now. It's a United Airlines plane. So we have a number of planes down, a number of planes involved in these attacks. The Boston to Atlanta, if I'm reading the notes correctly, had an American 767 with 81 passengers on board, 9 flight attendants, 2 pilots.
Flight 11.
Reported down. That's American Airlines Flight 11. And American Airlines Flight 77, which is a 757 jetliner, Dulles Airport outside of Washington, Los Angeles International, with 58 passengers on board, 4 flight attendants, 2 pilots.
Oh, my God.
They're crashing planes. They just take them and
there is this United Airlines jet, which crashed.
They're insane, and we're fighting insane people. And you ever fight anyone who's insane, it's almost impossible.
There's nothing to do but shoot them.
Chuck, go ahead and say something.
Howard, stay on the air, bud. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
So far, L.A. standing tall. We're all deployed, obviously, watching you guys.
A Taliban news conference soon.
What is a Taliban news conference, Robin?
I have no idea.
That's what's that guy's Bin Laden. I think that's Taliban.
That's a terrorist organization.
I think they're going to call a press conference to deny any involvement.
Oh, they're involved. Don't buy it.
When you get your cameras in there, shoot them.
Exactly. That will be done immediately.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Have you heard the FAA can't account for all planes right now either?
That's right.
Well, that's what we're figuring
That's what we're hearing now. Bush denouncing apparent terrorist attacks. Well, we heard from him earlier this morning, but now he's...
There's something else.
Yes, say something.
No, he's in hiding at this point.
Say something.
Vows to hunt down those responsible.
Why don't they tell us that there was a collapse also? I mean, give us...
You know what, though? Now is not the time for Bush to speak, because he'll speak with anger, and they need to plan things up.
Yep.
They're probably sending troops places right now, I guarantee it.
Hey, Tommy.
Yes.
How do you... That plane that got the F-16 circled?
Yes.
That's not Air Force One, is it, coming back from Florida?
No, the planes that are flying around here, the only planes I've seen were they were F-15s, and they were circling Manhattan, and now there are no planes, and it's just police helicopters, and I can't even explain it.
Yeah, Cabby, you were in the Air Force, so you know what an F-15 is.
No, I was in the Army, but I was air defense, so I had to know. My job was to fire missiles at airplanes, so I had to know the Stinger missiles. We had to know all the airplanes. So. All
right. Hey, Mike, you're on the air.
Hello?
Mike, go ahead.
What's up, Howard?
Hey.
Listen, I think this is like Armageddon going on.
It is.
It is.
It's the worst disaster we've ever seen.
I mean, this is, people all over America are uniting right now, and, there's so much crap going on in this
Let me
world.
tell you something. Right now, most of the world is cheering. That's the scary part. And you know it, and I know it.
Muslims on this planet than any other religion.
They hate us. They hate our way of life. They're jealous of us. And I don't care what Osama bin Laden says.
Yeah, they got tired of waiting for Allah to bring us down.
Yeah, trust me, he's in them. They're all in on it, and it's time for them all to die.
How could you respond to these people who, 2,000 years after Christ died, they still fight in the desert over a piece of... How do you
out of trash land. Nothing. Garbage.
How do you reason people?
You don't. They're willing to kill themselves to kill us.
Now, wait a second. What's that?
I mean, what are we looking at now? Hold on a second.
Earlier this morning, approximately 60-foot section of this building, which is, of course, the headquarters of all...
That's the Pentagon we're looking at. It's on fire.
Was on fire as a result of this crash, and then collapsed.
The Pentagon collapsed.
Some of the pictures we've been bringing our audience from the Pentagon. We've watched people being treated by first aid personnel there. We have no information yet.
I'm getting a note that on WYSP in Philly, Detroit, and Cleveland radio stations we're being interrupted. So I don't even know what stations we're on at this point.
Although emergency personnel.
And what are we being interrupted with? I don't know.
We're definitely on in New York, that's for sure.
No, I know that.
Elsewhere.
What's interrupting us?
Don't know. I'll try and find out.
No, I'm just curious.
Can I ask Tom a quick question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tom, should I stay here or should I try to walk into work?
I think you're doing a great job. I would stay there.
Okay.
Yeah, stay there.
All right, I'll stay here.
Okay, I think you've been great.
Thank you.
For once.
Get off me.
Howard, the scariest thing right now, I can't get through. I have a friend who literally lives 3 blocks away from the Twin Towers.
I have a couple friends that live right down that same area, man.
I know, and there are people I'm trying to contact. Anne Marie's out there dialing for me.
They say for time in history we have stopped all domestic flights and diverted all international flights to Canada. We've never had to take that kind of action before. This
is you know what? It hasn't even sunk in with me yet.
Yeah,
no, it seems like you're watching a movie or something.
Yeah, it hasn't even sunk in that the World Trade Center is gone.
It's Pearl Harbor. I mean,
that thousands of people are probably dead.
Tens of thousands, Howard.
Tens and tens, probably 50 plus, I would say.
I would say at least.
Yes, and that the Pentagon, God only knows what was going on there, and who knows what else is going to happen next.
Well, our government was attacked.
And
there are probably not one of us in this New York area or in this country who's not going to know someone who was killed in this. Right.
I can start by telling you nothing's wrong with her, but one of our brand new interns was supposed to start today. Her mom called to tell us she's being held in a garage in New York City because her building's gone.
Wow.
You know, people on staff who...
There's a plane in Cleveland loaded with... What is this? I don't know. On a runway with a bomb. Oh, there's a plane in Cleveland loaded with people on a runway with a bomb.
Well,
that's probably why... That's maybe what's going on with our Cleveland station, if anyone can find out.
I've been hearing that on the other stations that they're interrupting our reports with news reports.
I see. Yeah, they're probably going to local programming. Because each city, some of the major cities are all having their own story.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean to blame anybody, but, it's funny because, you think you're so safe in this country, and we were taught when I was in the military that, that the Air Force is always up in the air and there's always someone watching. And for airplanes to just be hijacked in numbers like this and crash into our own populated areas,
Well, let me tell you something.
Well, what we learned in Vietnam is when you're using guerrilla tactics, it's impossible for the military to stop.
And remember the mistake.
Crash into our own populated areas.
Well, let me tell you something.
Well, what we learned in Vietnam is when you're using guerrilla tactics, it's impossible for the military to stop.
And remember the mistake in Vietnam. We should have nuked those dudes, and we never did. And if we don't nuke some of these countries over there, I mean literally nuke them, fry them, fry their children, fry everything, they will never stop.
You know
they will never stop. And I know it's an unpopular thing to do, but you got to be the strong one, and Bush is going to have to make that decision. Target 3 countries over there and level them.
Yemen is one of them.
Disintegrate it. You know what it feels like now? It feels like almost like, remember when we fought the British? It's like we're the redcoats. Like we're standing.
We're playing like idiots.
Yeah, we're playing fair while guerrillas
we're standing in line waiting for people to shoot us.
Yeah, military action has changed. We're all about.
U.S. Army general, I think, who's talking now.
Okay, let me see.
More trouble before all of this concludes.
He's a retired Army general.
Protect the American people first. We've got to look after those who are injured. We have to deal with
former NATO Supreme Commander Wesley Clark.
That's underway with a lot of responsible action by people everywhere. The damage at the Pentagon is unclear from all the news reports that I've seen.
Who knows what's going on?
One report that said it crashed into the Army side of the building. There are command centers in various places of the Pentagon, and there are many other alternate command centers. So I don't think there's really any issue about the command and control of the United States Armed Forces. I'm sure that's very solid right now.
General Clark, you see what he's saying? He's saying that the reason you attack the Pentagon is to knock out all the leaders of the military, because each military unit has a command center there. You have the heads of all of the Navy, the Army, the Air Force right there in the Pentagon.
In Philadelphia, we are on the air. They're just interrupting for any kind of local news. We're on in Louisville, and they'll stay with us as long as we stay on. It seems like all our affiliates are still with us. So
yeah, I'm telling you, it's the best coverage. You have, access to 7 different networks here.
I know. And if we hear anything, we just go right on the air with it. So we're trying to, we're just sitting here in shock.
You know how you see the pictures from, like, the Gaza Strip when there's a car bomb? You see,
but it never feels real enough.
It's us.
Yeah, now it feels real,
it's the
right?
exact pictures you see from overseas that you just say, oh, my God, you can't even imagine that. This is us in New York City.
As someone said earlier today, this is Israel every day.
That's right.
No, you don't take down different towers.
This is worse.
The only affiliate that's not with us is Cleveland because of the bomb report at the airport and the airplane with the bomb. They're probably going to local coverage. A lot of our phone lines are down. We do have people calling in. I'll keep going to the phones. People here, I know, just in our building, people in Manhattan are devastated. Everybody knows someone who works at the World Trade Center. Of course. And everyone knows someone who's involved with the financial community, which is where we were first hit sometime before 9 o'clock in the morning, a few minutes before 9. 18 minutes later, a second plane goes into the World Trade Center. We've seen the complete collapse of the World Trade Center. We've seen a plane go into the Pentagon, just crash right into it.
That's the scariest thing of all.
There are other planes now with bombs, and also they're saying there are terrorists with bombs not in planes, but are also running around. That's what we know.
Doug, do you have that information on blood supply?
Yeah, let me give that again. For blood, the main number is 1-800-933-BLOOD. 1-800-933-BLOOD. The website is nybloodcenter.org. And let me give those 4 locations that I know of. I'm sure there's more.
We're all lucky to be alive. That's all I can say.
Howard, can I give those 4 locations?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Sorry.
53rd Street and Lexington Avenue in the Citicorp building, 168th Street and Broadway, 150 Amsterdam Avenue on the west side of Manhattan, and 67th Street and 2nd Avenue.
And if you can give blood, do it because, just imagine if this was you. Oh, my God. You're minding your own business, and this...
Yeah, you're just trying to get to work.
This nightmare happens.
Howard?
Yeah?
We're getting a report. Someone in my building here said they saw on the news that the 2 hijacked planes that were supposedly headed towards L.A. are now being considered not a problem. Maybe they've been shot down.
Yeah, we don't know.
Or maybe they're legitimate.
They're not supposed to be up there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Rob, how long ago was that? Like 2 hours
Yeah, it was
ago?
a long time ago that they said no more flights in domestic airspace.
Yes. Colin, go ahead. You're on the air.
Sorry to interrupt, Robin. I just wanted to say thank you, all of you, for staying on the air, and I just want to make it clear to stay on as long as possible because of all the insanity you people bring me every day. This is the most sanity I have right now. I can't even explain to you what you guys are doing for me. I appreciate it.
We're sitting here in shock, I'll tell you that. I mean, I was just out in the hallway for 5 minutes, took a 5-minute break, and I tell you something, it's just unimaginable what's going on.
Right. I walked up to the deli just about the same time.
People are in shock.
We went on break, and there were people just wandering around this watching TV.
The noise you're hearing is Crazy Cabbie's phone connection. He's right in the thick of it. I mean, he's seeing it. And you're hearing emergency workers running around. We saw military planes flying over New York.
There's thousands of people on the Williamsburg Bridge walking into Brooklyn. I mean, the exodus from New York is just people on foot now. Everybody's leaving.
Minutes before 9 o'clock, we were on the air, and when we first saw the report of the World Trade Center on fire, and even though there was a plane going into it, it almost didn't even, you didn't even know. It didn't seem real. You didn't even think it was, you don't know what the hell was going on. And then another plane, then the Pentagon. I mean, it is the most organized attack you have ever seen.
Unbelievable. How do you penetrate security at so many different airports and hijack planes?
Well, here's Gary with something. Go ahead.
On line 2, and I checked this out, so it's for real, is Congressman Gary Ackerman. He's from the 5th District of New York.
Yeah, we know Gary Ackerman.
He got a briefing from somebody, and he wanted to come on the air and talk.
Hi, Congressman. Congressman? I don't think I have him. Congressman? Congressman?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
What'd you hear?
It's an absolute nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. This is going to go down as Black Tuesday, and it's going to change each of our personal lives as well as our civilization forever.
You're not kidding.
The way we do business, who we do business with, our security precautions that we're going to have to take. I think this is driven home in the most dramatic way that anybody with a suit and a blue tie can get on a plane and do all kinds of damage almost at will.
Congressman, were you briefed in any way on this?
No, everybody who's supposed to be in secure places right now is there. We've closed down the whole Capitol. I'm in New York. I stayed here for the primary, and I was going to go down a little later.
Right.
And I just voted. Of course, the election's now been called off.
Right.
But our offices are all shut down. But you can surmise that the members of the Supreme Court, President's cabinet, and all officials who have to be are in the places they're supposed to be at.
Where do you think the president is right now, and what's going on? Do you have any guess?
He's not anywhere anybody can get to him.
Well, right. we don't want to guess out loud, but he's probably right now in a very safe and secure place. We do have places. Some of them are known, some are not. And the president is in one of them. And it's always good to know that nobody knows ahead of time which one he's going to be at. But certainly there's a command post where he is, and regardless of any of our politics, we're all going to pull together.
Yes, we are. We are all behind the president and waiting for his word, yeah.
But, Congressman, isn't this an attack against the government?
Without speculating recklessly on this, Howard, I mean, we know really of only one group that really has the capability and the resources to be able to pull off something like this.
You bet.
But they did.
They targeted. That happened in some of our embassies previously. Now we've seen.
This is what goes on in Israel every day.
People. You got it right. People now understand, I think, dramatically and unfortunately, what the Israelis have been going through, and how do you deal with this?
Oh, I know.
And to do preemptive strikes against people who are known terrorists suddenly makes a little bit more sense than to allow something like this to happen and then terrorists.
That's absolutely right. We can't sit by.
People attack our government.
It's different kind of warfare. We saw. It's the world today is different. It's not. We got to kind of feel like the sitting ducks of the world, like the British.
But you have to feel they plan to throw this country into chaos and to cause anarchy.
They did.
That's exactly it.
Didn't they?
They've done this in a startling and very effective way.
Organized
today.
It's amazing
they have to know that we are going to respond with the full force and might of the United States.
Do you know when the president, Congressman,
when you're dealing with a country.
Congressman, do you know when the president will talk again?
No, I don't, and I think everybody's busy getting information. But as soon as the president is able to impart information or give us a sense of direction. I'm sure that's going to be done.
By the way, I got an update. I have one update, Congressman. The plane in Cleveland is safe. It's been evacuated. The one that was...
that had the bomb?
That had the bomb. It's good news.
That is very good news on this otherwise bleakest of days.
Yes.
Despite the fact that this is probably not coming from a country that has a government in specific,
right?
That we do know the address of where these people do their training very often.
Exactly, and stop forgiving the governments for hiding these guys.
That's right.
You bet.
I think that people are going to understand that sometimes collateral damage has to be done, and innocent people are going to suffer who live in the neighborhoods, unfortunately.
Or else we're sitting ducks. And
What we had was collateral damage. You first attacked the World Trade Center, so you take our eyes off the government.
Right, and the World Trade Center was a diversionary tactic. Absolutely. The World Trade Center was not even the target. What it is
that was it.
To get to today the Pentagon was attacked.
See, I think
this is unbelievable.
10,000 people dying in the World Trade Center is more devastating than
No, I do too. But the real thing is they were trying to get to the White House and the Pentagon.
I think you're absolutely
This was an organized, thought-out military operation. We are at war.
Executed brilliantly, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Brian, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, they just reported that there was 164 people killed on the plane crashes into the World Trade Center.
Right.
That's on one of the planes.
That's on the plane.
Yeah. One plane.
On one plane. On one plane, there were 164 people.
But we're going to be talking in terms of thousands of people.
Tens of thousands.
Anybody within the sound of your voice, and that's millions of people, are going to personally be mourning the loss of somebody they know by the time we ferret this all out.
A United Airlines passenger jet.
It's sort of third person and surrealistic, but when it's all said and done, this is going to be one of our bleakest moments.
Congressman, I want to thank you for calling in, and if you hear anything, please call us back.
We'll get back to you.
All right, thanks a lot.
And you know, Howard, that probably half these bodies or more are not going to be able to ever to be identified, if they're even found.
I'm going to Terry Lieberman, who's our program director in Detroit. Terry, go ahead.
Howard, how you doing? I wanted to let you know in Detroit, tensions are running very high. The largest Arab population outside of the Middle East is located in Detroit.
That is true.
So obviously tensions very high.
Yeah, well, let me say something about that. I mean, listen, the people who live in Detroit, you got to understand something. The Arab population there, these aren't the enemy. It's the same way that the American Japanese were not the enemy during World War II. We know what's going on overseas. There are many Arabs in here illegally, and who come over here on student visas and things.
Absolutely right.
We're not talking about the...
This is not the enemy. Tensions are running very high.
It's going to do us no good to start punching out taxi cab drivers.
I did want to let you know that the Ambassador Bridge has been shut down, the Windsor Tunnel, so no one
is
being go out inside the United States or outside the United States from Detroit into Canada.
Right, the Windsor Tunnel, of course, connecting Detroit and Canada.
Yes.
Right.
GM World Headquarters shut down. That's the Wren Center. That is being evacuated. The Ford World Headquarters has also been shut down. So tension's extremely high.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Howard, I just got... they're watching another TV in the other room.
Hold on, Terry, thanks.
Thank you, Howard.
All right, that's Terry
saying
Lieberman.
that there's reports of Arab cab drivers being attacked in New York City.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Again, this is exactly what these people would want to
They want us to turn on each other.
They want us to look like animals.
What is it, Gary?
It's no big breaking news, but courthouses, city hall buildings, schools are being closed in almost every major city across the country at this point.
Yeah, and right now, most of our affiliates are still with us. Phoenix, Orlando is with us.
Atlantic City's with us. Detroit's with us. Philly called us. They just break in once in a while, but they're sticking with us. They love what you're doing.
All right. Well, I'll stay on for a while longer then.
They're showing shots on Fox right now. Just people down.
Yeah, no,
all over the
strength. I mean, who the hell? I mean, where the hell are you going to go? It's just unbelievable. Rosemary, you're on the air.
Good morning, Howard, or I guess it was a few hours ago. But thank you so much for staying on the air, and to your staff. And God bless you for your composure on such a devastating time in our country.
We don't even know yet how devastating this is. I don't think it's hit anybody. I'm watching unedited video on Fox, and you're just seeing bodies on the ground. We've got to stick together through this and understand that there is going to be the retribution. There is going to be a payday.
Yeah.
There's going to be payback. There's got to be.
Well, again,
and our day will come. Our day will come.
And it better be swift and strong.
Yep. our day will come, and I don't think we should even have to risk American life. There's a way to just punish these countries.
Tomahawk missiles.
You bet.
Nuclear warheads.
Right.
We have the most advanced military system in the world. We should be taking advantage of it.
And you got to ask yourself, how is it that all of these planes can be hijacked within the same 2-hour period?
Amazing.
How do you walk a bomb into the Pentagon?
What was it, 8 planes were hijacked?
How does it happen? I don't understand. I mean, I know there's airport security. I know that I mean, how did they... This has been brilliant.
You almost wonder if some of the... I mean, and I'm not throwing accusations, if some of these hijacked planes weren't hijacked by the pilots who were flying them.
You don't know? I mean, it's just...
Because terrorists don't necessarily know how to fly 767.
And again, I say, they got 8 planes. Who's to know that they tried to get 20 and couldn't get them?
Right.
Wow. I mean,
and you must remember that when that Egyptian airliner was brought down, it was a co-pilot who took over the...
What you're seeing is the president on TV now, but that's from earlier, Gary. He was talking to a group, and he just said he, basically gave a standard comment. He didn't really say anything yet.
And he can't, because he'll say it out of anger, and we don't need that.
No, that's fine. Hey, the president, we're all behind him. Let's see where he's going with this.
He's got the greatest military minds that is left and right with Dick Cheney and Colin Powell. They were the ones who orchestrated the swift victory in the Gulf War.
Well, Howard, you've been an incredible voice of reason this morning.
The World Trade Center, the first time, it didn't go right. They had 5 also bridges
let me
to blow
tell you
up.
something. You're absolutely right. We've been hearing that guys like Osama bin Laden have been planning an attack on New York and on the Pentagon. We've been waiting for him to do it so we can respond. There's no time to wait anymore.
Well, you also bring up we got real angry after the World Trade Center was bombed the first time, and we grabbed that guy, the sheikh who we sent back to Egypt, and we broke up his cell.
Right.
And everybody then got comfortable
And everyone got comfortable. Listen, the death toll now is in the thousands. That's confirmed.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
I have 3 family members that are in that building, and I have no idea what's going on.
I can tell you what's going on.
Now, I'll tell you this.
What do you see, Tom?
There are 2 American airline flights unaccounted for.
Right.
Yeah. Let me correct you. There's 4. We just got to report there's 4 unaccounted planes total.
Right.
When we had the chance and we were sitting down across the table with, what's his name?
Thank you. I got to move on. I hear what you're saying, and you're absolutely right. Darryl, go ahead.
Yeah, I know you're a humble guy. I know you're doing a good job and all that good stuff, but let me just get to the point. I'm kind of worried. There's a woman named Marlene who she works in that building as security. And
World Trade Center?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I don't know what happened. My wife, Christina, might have went down there to find out what's going on or to get home by PATH train. I need to get a message out to Sean, who works at Audubon Payne, because I know yours is like the radio station that's going on right now.
Give the name of the person, and maybe they can call you.
Yeah, the cell phone is up, the phone is up, but AT&T won't let me make any calls.
All right, so who are you looking for?
I'm looking for Jesse and Samantha. I don't know what schools they go to. I'm out here in Jersey right now, and just to call me and let me know so I can go and find them.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Good luck. All right. Debbie, go ahead.
Howard?
Yeah.
This is Debbie Schlossel from Detroit. I'm a political analyst here in the Detroit area, and I can tell you that with all due respect to Terry Lieberman, while most of our Arabic community are honest, decent, law-abiding American citizens, there are Hamas and Hezbollah cells here in Detroit in January.
Absolutely.
Customs and FBI arrested American citizens, the Boumelhem brothers, who were trying to smuggle arms to Hamas and Hezbollah over our
Debbie,
border.
let me be clear on that. I'm just saying for people to randomly go pick out cab drivers or a guy who owns a party store in Detroit and punch them out is not going to do us any good.
I agree, but I just want you to understand, Howard, that there's plenty of support for these groups. That's how they succeed here. And unfortunately, these FBI agents and customs agents are hamstrung because of laws on profiling, etc.
Profiling.
That's true.
We are not allowed to racially profile, and we're not allowed to do. Our hands are so tied, and someone's going to have to untie our hands and realize we are now in a war. That there are people living here in this country.
But one thing she doesn't point out: oftentimes these people also intimidate the other people who live in their community.
Yep.
To get their support.
They do.
They're held hostage.
Right, they make them feel guilty.
That's
Yep, and we've got to really sort of, I mean, what the hell do I know? I'm a friggin' disc jockey. But the fact of the matter is that it seems to me, it's like almost like when you raise kids. You can be so lenient. For so long that your kids start walking all over you. Now,
you keep saying you cannot negotiate with crazy people.
Right, and you got to really just kill them.
You got to realize that's who you're talking
We got to make the world safe for us again. Debbie, thanks for the comment. You're right.
Thank you, Howard.
All right, Debbie.
If, Howard, you go to any mosque here, they have speakers like Farrakhan who support attacking the U.S. government. And
there's another guy, Farrakhan, kind of talking about... Yeah, get rid of him, too. Let him live there.
He wants to be somewhere else,
doesn't he? You go to any mosque here in Detroit, you translate what they're saying in Arabic, and they are openly attacking the U.S. and Israel. And the problem is, when you negotiate with terrorists, when you force Israel to constantly negotiate with suicide bombers, and they aren't allowed to respond, this is what happens.
Yeah, That's right. The World Trade Centers disappear.
And what do you think? Israel has done nothing wrong. It's a shtick. These guys are carrying on. They're looking for reasons to attack. They hate the United States. It's not about Israel. And they want to get us, and now it's time to get them.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of years people have been fighting over that part of the world.
Right, I know. Like Syria.
Syria is the worst.
Absolutely.
Syria is the worst.
We've been coddling Syria. Our State Department has been coddling them.
That's right.
What purpose?
You know what?
With Hafez Assad.
Syria is among the worst. Worse than Iran.
Yep. Same with Yemen. There's a country called Yemen.
Oh, absolutely.
And the United Arab Emirates and you know, even countries like Saudi Arabia, who we helped in the Persian Gulf, house and hide terrorists.
Right.
Kuwait. I'm sorry. It happens all over there because when it comes a bigger issue, when it becomes the religion aspect.
Nuclear devastation for that part of the world.
You don't want to mess up the oil.
No, after about 5 years, after they're all dead, we'll go in and take our oil for ourselves.
Exactly.
What the half-life of that stuff is.
Really?
It's all right. I'll tell you, car will run better with nuclear crap in it. I'm telling you.
It'll sure go fast.
Wire reports New York City officials say as many as 165 bodies now.
There's got to be thousands.
165
Those are just the recovered bodies.
That's what they were able to find.
Have been recovered following planes crashing into the World Trade Center. That's just right off the top. And we don't know what else is doing in that building.
But this is exactly like one of those situations in some far-off country where they have the buildings collapse in an earthquake. We now have to dig under rubble to try
it's going to be weeks before we know the exact toll.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what the devastation was.
Yeah, and you see a building collapse. It's 3 stories of the rubble. This is one of the largest buildings in the world. Times 2.
I'm getting a little bit woozy at this point. I don't know how effective I'm being.
Howard, if you can get C-SPAN, you can see the Pentagon, the collapse. It's unbelievable.
We've seen that.
Yeah, we saw it. What's to say? Are planes still missing?
Yeah, they said there are planes unaccounted for. I think
4 is what we just heard.
Yeah.
4
planes.
4 passenger jets unaccounted for.
Doug, announce the blood supply again. Anyone who is in New York who is able to give blood if you don't have a cold, I guess if you have a cold, if you're healthy, there is such devastation that blood is needed, and Doug has the information.
Yeah, here's the information. The main number, and I'm not sure if this is a nationwide number because obviously other cities need help too, but the number I have is 1-800-933-BLOOD. The website for New York is nybloodcenter.org. The locations, again, are 53rd Street and Lexington Avenue in the City Corp building, 168th Street and Broadway, that's 168th Street and Broadway, 150 Amsterdam Avenue on the west side of Manhattan, 67th Street and 2nd Avenue, and that's for people in good health right now, age 17 to 65.
I wish this was just a radio bit like War of the Worlds, but it's not.
I'm going to go down and donate blood.
All right, Doug.
You know, they just...
Doug, I'm hanging up on you.
Okay.
All right,
if I hear anything, I'll call you.
Cool.
Bye.
All planes into L.A. are being diverted to Canada as a result of these attacks. And there were reports that some of these missing planes may be headed to Los Angeles. So
let me go to Tim. He has some new information. Let's see what's happening. Tim, go ahead.
How you doing, Howard?
Hey.
They just did a press conference right now. It's the head of Massport.
This is in Boston?
This is in Boston. I'm watching it right now. He obviously he's trying to answer the questions, but he's really sidestepping everything here. It's not
nobody knows what's going on.
He's not sure. He doesn't know what's going on.
No one knows.
He's asking, that people are asking questions about how he thinks that it's secure. Logan, obviously it isn't. I mean, 2 planes left here, fully armed. And
I'm still reeling from seeing the pictures of the World Trade Center completely disappear from New York.
Yeah, there are no World Trade Centers anymore.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't even tell you.
How incredibly devastating that is. That's amazing.
2 of the biggest buildings in the world, the financial
hub,
World Trade. I mean, that's what it means. And they're gone. They're completely gone.
It's unbelievable. And the fact is that, I mean, even Boston right now, Boston's shutting down.
Boston, Cleveland, New York, Los Angeles, Philly, all the major cities are shutting down.
Pittsburgh, they had their...
Yeah, Pittsburgh had one of the planes.
And the governor have all moved out to Framingham. There's a big state trooper caravan leaving on the Mass Pike.
What are you hearing, Gary?
You know, I know you're exhausted, but I can tell you that almost every affiliate is sticking with us and he has either called me or emailed me to tell them that this has been phenomenal and that it's very helpful.
Okay. I'll stay on a little bit longer, but I'm just starting to get dopey.
And there's really, what do you say?
What am I doing? I mean, what good am I doing?
I'm wondering where these people are all going to go, all the people that are coming into Brooklyn over the Williamsburg Bridge on foot.
I know. I don't know where anyone's going.
Yeah.
We don't know where anyone's sleeping tonight. John, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard, I just want to say you guys are still going strong in Albany.
Yeah, I know. We're on. All of our affiliates are with us, but I'll tell you, at some point, I don't think I'm going to be effective.
You're doing a super job.
I'm getting a little distracted by trying to get in touch with my loved ones, so I don't even know that I can concentrate anymore about this.
As far as how safe you guys are, for some of us that aren't familiar with New York City, where are you in relation to the World Trade Center?
Would you say we're about 8 miles away?
No, more like 4.
We're about 4 miles from the World Trade Center.
We're in the center of the island. That was down at one end.
Yeah, we're closer to Central Park.
Yeah, we're right near Central Park, and the World Trade Center is further downtown.
Is that the southern tip?
South, yeah.
So we're about 4 miles from there.
You got the best coverage, man. I appreciate what you're doing.
All right, thanks.
But be safe, too.
Later.
The World Trade was at the southern tip of Manhattan.
Exactly.
American Airlines is saying they have 2 flights unaccounted for.
Yeah, I believe there are 2 planes unaccounted for, right, Brad?
There could be more.
Yeah, according to what the newscaster said, Howard, it said that the 4 planes, 3 of the ones that crashed into the buildings, and the other one was for the ones at the Pentagon, or the one in Pittsburgh or Newark, New Jersey.
Brad, are they saying anything about how these planes were taken? In other words, was it like
was it a passenger who stepped forward?
Does anybody know?
What went on?
You know, I don't want to sound like...
Was this crew?
I don't want to sound like a wuss, but this is hitting me like I can't even tell you. There are so many people, it's kind of like when you have an alcoholic in a family. There's so many more people affected. That so many thousands of people are dying.
I know.
And have died. And just multiply that times 5 to every person. And that's how many people are being affected.
Yeah.
Oh, forget it. We don't even know who's... You know what? I know I've lost people I love right now, and I don't even know who they are.
Right.
You know, and I want to say this is the worst way to possibly ever be to get on your show. But I'm really glad you guys are safe and that you're okay, and you're doing a great job, Howard. And I'm going to go because I'm really emotional.
All right, take care. Adam, you're on the air. Nothing
Howard,
wrong with being emotional.
Adam calling from Brooklyn. I just want to voice my opinion on what's going on here. I don't know if you guys have access to televisions there.
Yeah, we do. We're going to it every once in a while, but there hasn't been any new information that I've opened up to you.
Yeah, they showed some video camera, satellite camera in the Middle East, I think maybe Palestine. And they're just celebrating in the street.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're celebrating.
To jump down
wreck their lives. For once, allow us... Whether you need Israel to do it or the United States to do it, I don't care which.
You know, to me, that alone is a reason to bomb them.
Allow us to bomb them.
While they're out in the streets, throw a bomb on them right now.
Bomb them now in the streets.
How would they have kids in the street, 5 years old, jumping up and down celebrating?
5-year-olds. Those 5-year-olds will grow up to attack our children.
They're showing it right now.
Kill them.
If you look at NBC,
Kill them for celebrating. Kill them.
In their schools, at 5 years old, they're being indoctrinated.
God is great. People were thrown.
They're all celebrating in the streets.
Yeah, like they killed
horrible.
The Palestinians are celebrating in the streets, ladies and gentlemen. They're putting up the victory sign. Children are cheering.
They're cheering.
The parents have taught them well. Let them all live. Go ahead.
Feel that the U.S. government...
Go ahead, and more of us will die.
With Israel.
I think you know what Bush needs to do. I mean, he needs to grow a set of you-know-what.
We don't know what needs to be done.
If Bush doesn't do it, he's gone. We have to get a new president. You got to get a new president.
He hasn't said much, really, Bush, but wait for him to come on and say, I mean,
look at them celebrating in the street.
This is why I say you cannot negotiate with these people.
They are so happy. They're so insane.
Unbelievable.
Today, drop the nuclear bomb on them.
There's no reason for those people.
Teach them a lesson.
Give them nuclear warfare. It's the only thing they understand. Like the bastard children they are.
This is terrible.
I can't even believe that. But on behalf...
I think it's great you guys are still on the air, though, you know.
I'm getting too worked up, and I'm starting to say stuff.
I really want to say nasty, awful things.
I do, too.
I know, Howard, this is getting me worked up. My blood is pumping right now.
I'm so
Somebody said to me earlier, where do you think it's safer? I said, I don't care about safety at this point. They're bombing my country.
Revenge.
That's it.
Revenge is going to be sweet. This thought that these people are celebrating the death of others, please do something.
This is horrible.
I'm sick of seeing it.
It's one thing to strike military targets, but when you strike the heart of a city like New York,
I'm sick of looking at them. I'm sick of looking at them celebrate.
I can't imagine these little school kids. They probably don't even know what's happening.
They're all celebrating.
They are taught to hate America at the youngest age.
And they're going to grow up and kill our children.
Yep.
They're going to be worse than the parents. It's time to stop the madness now.
They don't even have to. They do it in schools. It's organized. The teacher stands at the front of the classroom and says, this is a country and a people you should hate.
Look at how good the Japanese behave now after World War II. They're on such good behavior. We stripped them of all their dignity, and it's time to do it again. We have the power.
Now they just want to do business.
This country has the power. It's time to show the power we really have.
Japanese now are playing by the book.
Can't be soft anymore.
The Japanese, they can buy up all they want. The Japanese can build stuff for us. They can be our servants. But we don't allow them to smile anymore because we burn the smiles off their faces.
Yeah, it just goes to show how vulnerable, even we're vulnerable to this.
You know, dun, 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 dun. Remember that? Boom. That's that song in Hiroshima.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
You're not
Pop goes the weasel.
You know where George Bush is right now, don't you, Howard?
Where is George Bush?
George Bush is probably in Air Force One because it's considered the safest place to be during any type of attack. Because we can usually control the air, and I'm sure George Bush is flying in Air Force One with his advisors, and he's probably planning the attack right now. I would almost guarantee it by nightfall when those terrorists go to sleep.
Let me go switch to this phone caller. Joe is in Michigan right now. There's rioting in Dearborn. Who is rioting? Joe.
Yeah.
Who is rioting?
The Arabics.
What are they doing?
Billy, what are they doing? One of our friends, Miles, was leaving work, and all the cops have the streets blocked off, and everybody stopped. And I guess they're rioting in the east side of Dearborn.
Why are they rioting? Are they pleased with this or upset?
I don't know. I
would hate to be an Arab guy living in Michigan, law-abiding. They're not the target. They're not the enemy right now. And as that woman said before from Detroit, yes, there are groups sympathetic to the Hezbollah and all that, and we should weed them out. But the fact of the matter is that it's time to go to war.
But you do sort of understand what happened in World War II at this point.
You do. The internment camps of the Japanese. We didn't trust anybody.
No. Well,
we shouldn't trust these people. They come to our country and they take everything.
There, unfortunately, are people who come to this country and hide behind.
There are innocent people who are being hidden behind, and they will be hurt by this, probably.
Let me go to this report on TV and just see if there's anything new we can learn.
And good day to you all. We want to go right to Tiwa Chang, who is
good about the day.
We're told, with Mayor Giuliani, who can give us the latest information on casualties.
That's who should be the president, by the way, Mayor Giuliani.
May have perished in this.
He would clean up in 5 minutes.
It's being called. Tiwa, are you there?
Yes, Jim, I'm here. I cannot tell you where I am because for security reasons, the mayor's office and the police department have moved the emergency center away from Lower Manhattan, evacuating the police headquarters to a degree, and they also left the emergency bunker, which is at 7 World Trade Center, right next to where the 2 Twin Towers were. I talked to the mayor directly. I rode up with his motorcade, and he said, when I asked him about the 4 planes that were in the air that were possibly filled with bombs or whatever may be the case, he said, that's not a problem. That has been taken care of. I don't know what he meant by that, but he said that is not a concern now. Ooh. I also ran into the fire commissioner, Mr. Von Essen, Thomas Von Essen. I asked him, how many casualties were there? He said, I know many, many firemen and police officers were in those buildings when they went down. I do not know the extent.
Yeah. I can't even listen to this. Let me tell you something. The image now is circulating in my brain of the celebrating going on in Palestine, and I am sick.
As these police officers and firefighters and innocent victims were crushed in these buildings.
You know, and the sad thing is that the initial plane crashes into those buildings brought down all of the emergency services workers, and that the secondary explosion killed them.
Yes.
Howard, the really disturbing thing about that footage of the celebrating in the streets, too, is the little kids holding up the peace sign.
Yeah, the victory sign.
It's a victory
sign. That ain't no peace.
They think they've won something.
Richard, go ahead.
They're going to win the wrath of America, I'll tell you that.
They better. Richard, you're on the air. Richard? Will, he's with the military intelligence. Will?
Yes, Howard.
Yeah.
I was just... I'm in the Army Reserves, right?
and I'm stationed in Staten Island. I have a lot of friends who work at the Port Authority. We have these air defense guns that can supposedly shoot down a baseball. If you could throw a baseball from Manhattan to Staten Island, it can shoot a baseball to 4 pieces and slice those 4 pieces into another 4 pieces. Now, I'm just wondering, why weren't these things used in place?
I don't know. We don't have the answer to that. Todd, go ahead. What are you hearing? Todd. He was coming on. I don't know if this was any truth, but that there's Rhode Island is reporting a plane crash. Rhode Island? Anybody hear anything about that?
No.
All right. I don't know if that's legit or not. Mike, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hello, Howard?
Yeah.
My name's Justin, but anyway.
Sorry, Justin.
All right. All these Palestinians that you're saying, the terrorist ones, they're American. They're American Palestinians. They didn't ship them over and put them on planes.
Yeah, Palestinian. There are many Arabs living in this country who are here on student visa that are part of this terrorist movement.
I said these people had to be here for some time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This
gets shipped over.
And we know that. But I'm saying randomly going in the streets and punching out cab drivers is not going to solve that problem.
Why not?
Why not? Because there's a lot of innocent guys there. You don't want to do that to. You don't do that.
That's exactly what they want us to do.
That's right. They would love us to become Sarajevo or Croatia.
And start to ethnic cleanse.
I think what we ought to do, though, and we've been threatening this for years, take them one by one who are in this country, and any ties to any terrorist organizations, we get rid of. Anybody here on a student visa, get rid of. I don't need them being educated.
You know what? We also should not let them immigrate into this country.
Absolutely not.
Come from countries like this. We don't want you.
It's the
Public
truth.
executions, man.
Yep.
Put them in camps like they did World War II.
That's right. They absolutely should.
Those camps were real wrong.
Separate them, get
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were.
At the time we were at war, we didn't know. You know, retrospect is, people say in retrospect, Harry Truman shouldn't drop an A-bomb.
Oh, no.
Harry Truman was right. He knew what to do. What is it, Gary?
I'm just looking at the thing off of Reuters. It's saying that, I guess, an Arab journalist who has access to bin Laden interviewed him 3 weeks ago, and he warned of an unprecedented attack on the U.S. interest for support of Israel. And
there you go.
But I thought,
that's enough for me.
They said earlier that he's saying had nothing to do with it.
Oh, you think he's a brave man, Tom?
No, clearly not.
But this is a journalist who claims he interviewed him 3 weeks ago. It's off of Reuters.
Pat, hi, you're on the air.
You know what? Honestly, guys like Bin Laden say this all the time, and it doesn't necessarily ever come to fruition.
Yeah, but the point is, I'm crediting him with this attack.
No, totally. You know he did this.
Yeah, Pat, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Howard. I was doing work on a rooftop in Jersey City, and we didn't see the first crash, but we saw the smoke, and as we were watching, I saw a plane coming in from about 3 or 4 miles out.
Wow.
And I had commented to the other guys on the roof. I'm sorry. But I commented to the other guys on the roof, and I said to them, hey, look at this plane, coming in pretty close, too. And I just said, oh, my God. I said, it's going to hit it. And as I said it, it just hit it. It hit the second tower.
Well, you're never going to get that image out of your head.
And it was, when it hit, you saw the fireball go past it.
Awful. And it's just awful, and it's just ridiculous.
We've been too lenient with these people for way too long.
We have. That is the truth.
And that's the problem. You look at it our own backyard.
I've been in radio 20 years. I've been screaming about that the chickens were going to come home to roost.
But you look in your own backyard, what we do to our own people, and we just smack them on the wrist. These people don't even belong here, and we let them get away with
it. Our society has become too lenient.
But we've also ceased to be amazed that people will actually launch an attack in which they know they will be killed.
Yep, Elizabeth.
That is not amazing to us anymore.
Yeah, we have to just level them all out. Elizabeth, you're on the air.
Yes, I happen to be thanking my blessings right now in my grandparents' house. I was in my office when I saw the flying balls of fire and debris after a car crash. I worked in 2 World Trade Center.
You were in the World Trade Center?
Yes, in the 2 World Trade on the 35th floor.
Well, you were on the 35th floor, and what happened when the plane hit? How did you get out?
When the plane hit, it hit one, but we thought it was another building. We never had an idea that it was the World Trade Center. We only saw flying debris, glass, and balls of fire hitting our offices. At that point, we were told to go to the lobby, like for a fire drill, to evacuate the building. I was fortunate, for whatever given reason, somebody dragged me into the freight elevator, what happens to be right there at that moment. When we got in the freight elevator, the mechanic told the guy operating it, hurry up and push the down button, because this elevator is going to stop the minute there's a fire in here.
Wow. And
I'm watching the floors coming down, 35, 34, until we made it to 1. I said, thank God. Opened the door. I ran out to the concourse, the World Trade Center concourse, and all I see was mobs of people running, and the cops telling us to be cautious, but go ahead and run out of the building. I kept on running out of D.C. Street all the way up to Chambers Street.
Good for you.
And then because when I got to Chambers Street, good thing I work out. I'm very healthy.
Right, you were able to run.
I know. I heard a boom, and when I turned around, I said, oh, my God, there's my tower. That was 2 World Trade.
Oh, my God.
That got hit. At which point
let me ask you something. How many people were at work on your floor?
Let me tell you another thing. My floor, my co-workers are the actual victims of the first bombing.
Oh.
They were in B1 level when the actual bombing happened back in the 90s.
So when you say you got out, there was a lot of people still on the floor,
There was a lot of people because there was one space in the freight elevator. I don't know who pulled me in there. And usually the elevators stop because if there's a fire. They automatically stop.
Well, you are real lucky.
You have no idea. I have no idea how lucky I really am.
Oh, my God. What was your job at the World Trade Center?
I was actually the signs and the coordinator for all the signs and all the directories of the World Trade Center. I work for the Port Authority.
You work for the building, the World Trade Center?
For the Port Authority.
Right. Oh, my God. You are so lucky.
I tell you, I was about to call the secretary to see if she survived it because she survived the first one.
Oh, my
because
God.
Because she was in B1, the first bombing. She was in B1 level. So was my boss. Everybody, all my co-workers were actual I wasn't there in the first bombing. I was only there now. I am so lucky to be alive and be able to say this.
Well,
I'm so devastated. The towers are gone.
Everything's gone.
I don't know what happens tomorrow.
Well, there's got to be retribution. Not even retribution. For self-preservation, we must attack.
I tell you, this is ridiculous.
And I said it at 9 o'clock in the morning when I first saw the news. I said, now it is their excuse. Now you finally have been pushed.
I mean, really.
Now let's not
stop. I would
stop.
love to know what they're saying in Europe now. All the people who always
the rest of the world is laughing
at us. I don't even care. I don't even care what Europe's saying. I'm saying now we have to make a decision.
Yes, we do. Yes,
we know the countries that harbor terrorists. Don't wait to even find out who is responsible. Why even let them into
this country? We should stop letting people in already.
It's enough immigration. We got too many people here. Enough with immigration.
Now stop that.
Stop it all. Put an end to it. Put an end to the madness. Close down the borders.
Thank you.
And bomb the crap out of
it. It was built on immigration.
Hey, Cabby, name this. Thank you, ma'am. And thank God you're all right.
Thank you. Yes, thank God.
We report that the bridges are open again. Triborough, Throgs Neck, Whitestone bridges are all open. And we know that the GWB was opened.
So you can get in and out.
You can get out. We don't know if you can get in.
I don't think you can get in because everybody's walking out across the bridge. No one's going in at all. Now, Howard, I wanted to say something, and I was going to say before, when I first came on the building, there were some other people that live in the building here up on the roof, and there was one girl, and she said to me, I go, oh, my God, what happened? And she goes, this is what we get. This is what we do to other countries. And I said, what?
Oh, that's so
and you know what it is, Howard? It's the liberal thinking in this country that we deserve.
Well, hold on. What is it, Gary?
Like
I'm going to head out if that's okay with you.
You're going to head out?
Well, they just said some stuff is open.
Yeah, you might as well. Well, listen, Tom, I think...
So, you know what? We only have an hour left on the satellite anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're about ready, then...
I'm about ready.
Okay.
Cabby, I'm going to go.
Okay, Howard,
Thanks, Cabby.
This is one of the most disturbing act of humanism I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen some pretty sick things in the military in other countries, but it's the liberal thinking that this is okay. We need to take conservative action. We need to blow some people up, and just wipe them out. Wipe them out, Howard.
All right, thanks, Cabby.
God bless.
Cabby, you were great.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah, I think we lost a lot of liberals.
Yeah.
In this.
I hope so. Well, sorry, Tom, what?
It's these moments you'll never forget. You never forget where you were when Kennedy was killed. You'll never forget the moment that attack happened. You'll never forget standing here watching that first...
Oh, that tower come down.
All I know is in a moment of frivolousness, I was defending the fact that I had kissed Pamela Anderson and not gone any further, and then 2 seconds later... Now I'm sorry.
That was dumb.
You weren't there, in all fairness. Well, this is a devastating day.
It is.
What is the date today?
It is
September 11th.
12th, 11th.
The 11th of September.
Just remember.
Evidently, there was some significance in the Arab world.
They say the signing of the Camp David Accords.
Camp David Accords, but that was the Camp David Accords brought peace to Israel and Egypt.
Yeah, and Israel. Yeah.
Right. Hey, Howard.
Who knows? Yeah.
This is a report from the AP just to show how horrible what just happened. The mayor says he arrived at the World Trade Center building just moments after the first blast and witnessed people jumping from the windows to their deaths.
Oh.
Wow. Imagine jumping out of the World Trade Center.
No, and there's no way of surviving that.
Doug, you wanted to get one last word, and go ahead.
Yeah, Howard, it's Doug. I just saw the tail end of a news report. I'm not sure where this is taking place, but there's a report that over 3,000 Palestinians are somewhere cheering.
Yeah, we've seen it. We watched it on television.
Where
and
is that?
This is in Palestine.
Oh,
I think we all know.
Right there, right now.
Yeah, I think we all know what has to be done.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, spoiled children are being allowed to live.
Hey, Doug, don't hang up. I want to make sure we have all that information so we can continue to give it out today.
Yeah, the blood information. Hold on.
Okay.
Well, we're going to go now. There's not much more to be said. You guys can tune to TV and radio and everything else, and I'm just devastated by this.
We'll be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, we'll all be sitting around waiting to hear what goes on. And, you know, this is a great day in the Arab lands. This is they're cheering for us.
Let it be the start of the worst moment of their lives.
Yeah. Let this be the day that we woke up, please.
You know, much like when the Japanese had struck their blow against the United States, it was just the beginning of the end.
It was the end of it was the beginning of their nightmare.
This is the beginning of the end.
I think this is the wake-up call. Unfortunately, it's an unfortunate wake-up call, but it's here. I guess we were never really.
The world has been plagued with this long enough, obviously.
You know, let's free the world of terrorists. Yeah. It's time to do it now. It's going to take about a month to really nuclear attack them and do it in a devastating way where they don't live, so that maybe only a roach will live in these Arab lands. Today is the day that we must wake up. I don't think I'm being irresponsible by saying that.
Absolutely not. If this doesn't wake us up, you know, this is affecting our way of life. They want to take our way of life away from us.
As we sit here now, we don't even know who is alive and who is dead in our personal lives. We don't, especially those of us who live here in Manhattan.
And just imagine if we capitulate, how our lives will be affected from now on.
Head for the hills if we capitulate. Head for the hills, because this will go on a regular basis, just like in Israel.
Their celebration will be a real one.
Free the hands of the Israelis, free the hands of the United States, and may we unleash as they call it, a holy war on our enemies who have...
And we do have
ripped
enemies.
Us a new a-hole.
We do have enemies. Don't sit there for a moment thinking there's nobody to blame.
Let's hope the war ain't over yet. Let's hope that we don't sit there and say, let's negotiate. Let's think about it. Let's keep a level head.
Let's move in measured tones.
AP Wire, I'll leave you with this. The military is at full threat level, and we'll see what happens. And
that doesn't mean we're attacking anybody.
No, just means that we're on full alert, which means nothing.
Like we're waiting for another blow.
Yeah,
we're
sitting ducks. Let's hope that Bush has got some balls. I know he avoided military service. I don't know what he did.
Well, you know, wasn't he in like the National Guard?
The National Guard, but I think they got a couple of guys in there like Cheney.
Well, I know, you know, Clinton didn't serve, and he figured out how to, you know, fire a few bombs off.
Bush Sr. Was a military hero. I'm glad about that.
And Cheney, I think, has a few fights behind him.
Cheney's got a few rounds.
Fights under his belt.
Yep. We were at
no time to fool around.
Right.
How happy were you yesterday now, looking back?
What does that mean?
Meaning just, you know, you don't... You
were carefree.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we shouldn't have been.
Because today was coming.
For 20 years. I've been on the radio saying this. And I'm not saying...
I remember you saying this when we first started working together, and I was like, shh.
Yeah. And
stop it.
I know. And I've been saying it. I said the chickens will come home to roost. It's going to happen. And we should really wipe out terrorism now. But we were afraid of what France will say. France never fought a war in their lives.
And if they say don't use airspace, take them over.
Yeah. I mean, we're the leaders.
I was just there like the country, but take them over. They don't know what to do with a country.
Kill them before they kill us. All right, listen, this is all empty rhetoric anyway. It's up to the military.
We really don't do it.
We're just venting because we are pissed. And let's see what happens. We'll see you tomorrow.
This concludes the Howard Stern broadcast day. Stand for identification. This is 92.3 K-Rock. Are you ready? Here we go.